Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Thank you all very much for joining us tonight. And Roush1 here, your Dungeon Master for this evening, and I'm going to be running some Dungeons & Dragons for my friends. Thank you all for being here. Joining me tonight, as always, to my left, I guess it would be right on your screen, is Akuma, the Tiefling Sorcerer. How you doing tonight?
Hey, doing well, Nick. How's everybody else doing?
Good. All right. Next to Akuma, moving clockwise around, we have Zymat, the Human Fighter.
Greetings, everyone. Excited for some fun adventuring tonight.
Just below Zymat, we have the Wrist Taker, the Force from the North, Gigroth, the Goliath Barbarian. What's up?
Internet's a shit, but
And then next to Gigroth, last but certainly not least, is Cyrus, the Elf Bard. Hello.
What's up, everybody?
All right. So when we last left the team, man, there was a lot that happened last session. We, let's see here. You were able to find and take down Sethic, who had been murdering people in 10 towns, who had seemingly been dodging the lottery for human sacrifices in the towns that do have human sacrifices. You learned about a possible sea monster that has been terrorizing boats of Bremen, which is another town over from where you're at currently, to the west. You learned the names of some of Sethic's next targets. And so there might be some possible connections there with why he's targeting these certain people. What else was there? Oh, you learned that trade has stopped on some of the eastern cities in 10 towns, that the ferry that delivers goods in some of those has kind of just stopped for some reason. And I think that is about it for what was learned. Is there anything I'm missing?
Not from my
Nope.
notes.
Okay.
Nope, that pretty much covers everything.
Obviously, it wasn't that important if he did.
Fair enough. All right. So you now find yourselves still in Targos. You are at the Three Flags Sailing Tavern, which is of course run by little old lady Ma. Her and her very nice hospitality has granted you some food and beverages. It's a little bit more crowded tonight since the last time you were in there. More fishermen coming in after working for the day have met here. Ma extending them the same hospitality. There's also two more individuals who are in here. One is a human with black hair, chin strap, black beard, fairly nicely dressed, with fur-lined gloves and a fur cloak on him, and he's accompanied by a tiefling in full plate armor. And that is where we set our scene. What would you all like to do?
I mean,
I'm gonna kind of.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask one of you. I was just gonna ask, is that one dude with the black hair and the chin strap beard? Is that the target? Well, I can't remember his
Enrin?
name. It started like with an E. Enrin.
Yeah, Enrin was the target that you had learned about. But make me a perception check.
All right, I can do that. 16.
16. Okay, so you can overhear as these two individuals, the one in the full plate and the guy with the chin strap beard, kind of walking around and making the rounds in the tavern, patting people on the back. Hey, how's this fishing today? Just kind of going around and schmoozing with all of the regulars. You can hear them refer to this individual by the name Nerth. Naerth. Naerth.
Guys, I don't think that's Enrin.
And you said that was the chin strapped and plate tiefling.
Yeah. So the black hair, chin strapped guy, kind of nicely dressed with the fur lined gloves, fur lined cloak, is Nerth. You do not hear a name for the tiefling.
Okay, and the tiefling's the one in the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is correct.
Well, I mean, do we have any? I'm drawing a blank. I don't have anything in my notes connecting this at all. So I don't know if we want to maintain a low profile to try to track down Enrin, because that was our lead for tonight, right?
Yeah, Enrin was supposed to be like meeting the sheriff, I thought it was.
Oh, I wonder if this is the sheriff then.
Or he's so Enrin was supposed to be meeting Scoth, the leader of the Targos militia. That's what it was.
Oh,
Outside
okay.
of the tavern.
And it was inside this tavern, or are we at a
Outside
different
of the
tavern?
tavern.
Outside.
Oh.
If do we notice anything about their mannerisms or how people are greeting them or what they're doing, or notice anything that might identify them as potentially the sheriff, as this Nerth as the sheriff, or a part of the local militia?
Make me a perception check as well.
18.
Okay. Yeah, you notice much of the same that Cyrus does. With your 18, you get the person. You notice this person full plate is kind of just you kind of just notice that the person in plate kind of stands idly and is just kind of like near this person named Nerth the whole time. They're not really interacting with the commoners, but Nerth is very, very interactive, and they seem to be the common folk seem to be very receptive of him, answering him, talking about their fishing trips. He even buys a round or two for some of the regulars here at the tavern. Seems to just kind of like be old chums with everyone in this tavern.
Does Nerth happen to drop any information about who he is or about what he is, or is he just kind of reciprocating what the common folk are talking about?
Just kind of reciprocating that. With your perception checks, you don't get any additional information about who this person is. But there's...
I'm also...
What's that?
I was gonna say I'm also a tiefling. I could just like walk up and like try to strike up a conversation.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, you can do that.
Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. Now I gotta think about what to say.
And you want to strike up a conversation with Nerth and this tiefling, or strike up a conversation with one of the people in the tavern, or with Ma?
The tiefling more than Nerth.
Okay.
You said tiefling. The guy in plate armor. He's the one interacting and like he's also talking to people. Or was that all?
No, he's not really interacting with anyone. He's just kind of like standing idly by Nerth. No one's really interacting with him very much. He's just kind of like this stoic figure that's sticking beside Nerth's side.
That makes more sense. I don't know. Do you guys want to walk back outside to see if we can see Enrin, or do you want me to go try to like talk to the tiefling?
Yeah, I just like I want to do things with reasoning and a purpose, and right now I have no purpose for this dude. The one thing I did want to say though, when we approach Enrin, so they were the target they may not know about. Do we want to take the approach where we're essentially trying to save him and maybe potentially others, and use that as a springboard to ask further questions like, hey, why would someone be targeting you? Like, look, we don't care. We've been hired outside, by outside people to kind of try to thwart this low key, but we need a lead, or is there a better approach that you guys have in mind for him? Because I mean, we can't just walk up to him and be like, "Hey, what's going on here?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean he's going to be with the militia too. I thought maybe we could try tailing them for a little bit.
Okay, or maybe have Gigroth say he wants to join the militia.
Yeah, that might go over fairly well too, because like if he's got like a solid reputation around town.
So we end up trailing both leads, right? We can have Zymont and Akuma follow Enrin, and we could keep a low profile for the meantime, and then have Cyrus and Gigroth. And I only say you, Cyrus, because you got the gift of gab, can go and openly track the militia and be like, "Hey, we're Gigroth's interested. I'm just kind of his helper." You know what I mean? Is that something we want to do?
Wait. So Enrin is meeting with the militia. Did I miss something there, or?
Right? Are my
Okay.
notes incorrect? Right? That's who he's meeting tonight. He's meeting with the militia, or is
Yeah,
he meeting with the sheriff?
that's what I
And he is
thought.
the militia. Yeah, that's what I'm
Scott?
saying. So he
Okay.
can like we just kind of eavesdrop on the meeting, let that happen, because if we kind of interrupt the meeting, I feel like that might be a little too. They'll be on guard.
Yeah.
So maybe if
yeah.
we can catch them separately, like watch, see what happens, see if it's a good meeting or an argument or a fight or whatever, and then we can kind of use that as I have additional information when we split up and catch them after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I understand now. I think because you're gonna have me and Gigroth sort of confront them while you guys kind of keep your distance and tail him. Is that?
Yes, like after the meeting, instead of because all right. So here's the thing: if they're meeting, they may or may not be on guard. I mean, I would
Okay.
think they would be because anytime I'm meeting with someone and someone shows up, I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Especially strangers. But what we could do
Mhm.
is just observe the meeting, see what kind of relationship they have, and then when they split ways, like, "All right, cool, that was a good meeting. I'll see you whenever." And they split. You two guys can go with the militia, and then Akuma and I can trail Enrin, and then that way we have two separate angles that we could do to potentially gather information.
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand now.
What do you think, Akuma?
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Is there a table empty towards the front of the tavern?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely room in here. As far as what I remember, you kind of like already situated yourself at a table, either at the bar or at a table in this tavern. Maz kind of like already served you up some stew, got you a round of drinks, and you're just kind of like settled here for the night. Not settled here like this is where you're going to stay for the night, but you've kind of like, this is like winding down after an eventful day. Okay. Make me a perception check. Let's see, Gigroth and Akuma. Cyrus and Zymont, I'm gonna have you guys use your passive perception for this, as you've
Just
already
a
made.
5.
Got a
12 passive for Zymont.
I have a 14 passive.
Okay. Gigroth, what was yours?
0.
A 0?
No. 2-0.
Oh, a 20. Okay, gotcha.
Do I need to scream?
I
Is that how
you
you're
just
gonna
you
hear
kept
me?
cutting out. I didn't catch
Ah.
that.
Yeah. So
Okay, so with your
to my internet.
with your check, Gigroth and Cyrus, what was your passive?
14.
14. Okay, so Gigroth, you notice that you're the only one that notices this. This armored figure kind of leans in and whispers something in Nerth's ear, and he kind of like acknowledges it, looks over his shoulder, and then gives a nod, and you see this armored tiefling walk out the door.
Is there anything you want to do? Cyrus?
I mean,
Nerth
Yeah,
has
I-
continued to just make his rounds and be chummy with the regulars.
I guess we could try and like follow the tiefling outside.
Okay. I'm just gonna act like Gigroth is gonna go take a piss.
Okay. Cyrus?
I am not gonna go with Gigroth to take a piss. I'm gonna let him go out for about 30 seconds or so, then
Mhm.
take a walk outside. And I'm not gonna make an excuse for going outside.
Okay. Are you what's your intentions here? You're going to like try and tail these people? You want
I just
to
kind of want to. Yeah, I guess I just kind of want to observe where the tiefling went.
Okay. All right, so you make your way outside. Gigroth, you're like you walk outside. You're leaning up against the side of the building, right? You got to take a leak. Cyrus, you come out, and Cyrus, just as you come out, you see the armored figure turn the corner to the side of the building. It's not necessarily an alley, but he walks down and turns the corner around the building.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of like walk up to the edge of that alley and sort of like peek my head around the corner,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of eye up and see what the tiefling is doing.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Yeah. Are you make me a stealth check?
Okay.
Gigroth, what are you gonna do?
So, Gigroth is. Can he see the T?
You saw them round the corner and turn the corner of the building.
How big would the building? You say the building?
Oh, it's a full-size tavern, so let's say probably 60 foot square, 60 foot by 60 foot. Like it's a fairly sizable building.
No, I was thinking if how big it was. Maybe I could climb on the.
Oh, how tall it is? It's a one-story building. You could certainly try to climb on on top of the roof.
No, it was just a thought. I thought it was gonna be a little bit bigger, but I can imagine like Gigroth just fucking stomping on the ceiling, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah,
Well-
everyone inside hearing it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
He has to
Gigroth.
do a roll for stability, and if not, he just breaks through the floor or through the ceiling.
You know what? I'm just gonna find like a corner or like I'm just gonna make it seem like I'm pissing. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have a water skin, so I'm just gonna like kind of open it and make it.
Okay. And where are you going to do this? Are you going to do this rounded the corner or on the side of the building or where you're like on the front of the building?
So, first I want to see is like when he went around the corner, is he still there? Like, is he on that other side of the wall? Because if he is, I'm just gonna piss on like I'm gonna piss right there, like right before I turn the.
Okay, so you're gonna be on the front of the building, on the front side of the building, just looking around the corner.
And if he's there on that side of the building, I'm just gonna like stay my ground right there and just like water.
Okay. All right. So first off, Cyrus, I need you to make me a stealth check.
13.
13. Okay. Gigroth, you are very much out in the open as you open your water skin, draining it, acting like you're pissing. You can see around the corner that this armored individual is still standing there, and there's another person, a human, on the opposite side of them. and they're standing face to face. And as you turn the corner and start your pissing shenanigans, both of them, like the guy would be facing you, the human, kind of looks around the armored figure and directs his attention at you. The armored tiefling turns his head ever so slowly and sees you standing there, and he says, excuse me, but I suggest you do that elsewhere, lest you be arrested for public urination.
My apologies. My apologies. And then I'll just kind of like walk off. So, do I see an animal?
You do not.
Does Sebastian happen to be with us at the moment?
Sebastian is back where Torga stowed her dogs and her sleds of merchandise.
Okay.
Currently.
Okay. And okay. Well, I'll just make my way to, I guess, around the other side of the building.
Okay. All right. So you make your way to the other side. Basically, there's like the alley that would be between two buildings. Cyrus and Gigroth at the two corners, kind of either peering and listening to what's happening between the meeting of these two. I need both of you to make me perception checks now.
Ooh, nat 20.
Okay.
So that's a 24 total, if that matters.
2.
2. All right, Gigroth, you are too concentrated on your pissing scheme, and all you can hear is the sound of your water skin emptying out into the snow below you. Cyrus, you hear everything clear as day between these two. And you hear a conversation where this human says, "I'm sorry I'm late, but he says something else came up." And you can see him hand over a small pouch. The armored tiefling takes the pouch. The human says, 50 gold, as promised, and I thank you for keeping my name out of the lottery. And the armored tiefling nods his head. The human also says, there's a note in there for you, and it's for your eyes only. It comes from the south. And you see the tiefling open up the pouch, pull out a sheet of paper, a small sheet of parchment, unfolds it, and it's about half unfolded. It's about half size, half a sheet. They read it. They acknowledge it. Look up at the other human. The other human nods. Tiefling folds it up, sticks it back in the pouch, and then stows the pouch. And the tiefling in the armor says, that's enough. You're dismissed. And the human turns around and walks the opposite direction down the alley. You then see the armored tiefling turn around and walk towards you. Walk towards the end of the alley that's towards the street where you're at the corner.
Okay, and is that like the front of the building?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Yep. So this individual, the other individual, is walking towards the back of the tavern. The armored individual has turned around and walked forward.
So I'm gonna try and, like, without making much noise, try to like gesture to like Gigaroth to, like, you know, kind of like follow me kind of thing. And I'm gonna make my way for the door into the tavern. I want to go reconvene with the other two.
Right. Gigroth will, follow, but just in case we're seen, just kind of smack Gigroth across the head and be like, "Told you not to piss in."
Wait, what was that?
I said if they end up seeing us or the cat like see us before we walk in, smack Gigroth across the head and say, "I told you about pissing in public."
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. You just like whispered that to me
Yeah.
very loudly.
Okay, so Gigroth cuts in front of the alleyway, makes his way to you. You guys make your way into the tavern, and just before you walk into the tavern, the tiefling turns around and makes his way in front of the tavern as well, seemingly going back towards the door.
I will not give any acknowledgement to the tiefling.
Okay, yeah. So you're back in the tavern, reconvened. You can pass this information along. You can do whatever you'd like with it.
Is it like you said it was like pretty like busy in the tavern, so it's kind of loud, and like if we were to like have a hushed conversation, we could keep it under wraps.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like super rowdy or anything like that. It's fairly subdued attitude, other than when conversations with Nerth are happening with people. That's kind of like the most lightheartedness. But there's definitely enough noise to where you could have a hushed conversation and not be overheard.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sort of tell Zemat and Akuma what I saw. Looks like that tiefling over there is part of the city guard.
What gave you
I
that
saw him
idea?
pass. I tell him that about the situation with Enrin, or presumably Enrin.
When the tiefling came back in, did we notice? Does the tiefling talk to Enrin at all, or does the tiefling talk to the Enrin, right? Or Hearth, I'm sorry. Does the tiefling talk to Nerth at all?
The tiefling comes back in and rejoins Nerth, but does not say anything to Nerth. Just kind of
Okay, so there's
comes
no
back
like
in.
exchange. There's no exchange of some kind of affirmation or anything like that, right?
No,
He
not
just-
at all.
okay.
The tiefling just comes in and kind of like rejoins his post, stays beside Nerth, doesn't say anything to them.
All right. Well, we've got confirmation now that there is some shifty stuff going on about the raffle and stuff. So how do we want to proceed? Do we want to take up old Sub-Zero's path, or do we want to uncover this? Like, what are you guys feeling?
I mean, personally, I don't really want to get caught up in the business of going around and murdering the locals. I feel like that's an awful lot of heat.
I do want to confront the tiefling though, and figure out why. Like, I think confront might be too strong of a word, because like I don't necessarily mean we need to fight the tiefling, but question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm at the very least would like to rectify this, because I don't think people should be dodging the raffle, to say the least. Like, if they've already decided this is the best course of action for the town, then they should all be on equal parts of it and not kind of screw the little guy, essentially. But it would also lead us to maybe get more information about the Frostmaiden and figure out if there's a way for us to just kind of nip this in the butt altogether and deal with her. So yeah, I'm good with getting some interrogation action going.
How did? But call what Sub-Zero, how he actually found out people were skipping the raffle, or like did he have like a method to find out?
I mean, so he was like an assassin figure, so you can assume that you also know that they were connected with the Frostmaiden, so maybe he got his information directly from the Frostmaiden. But actually finding his targets, I mean, he was like a master assassin, so
Oh, okay.
presumably like he could tail them, he could do all of that work himself.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Well, I'd like to go with the.
All right, so wait until they leave, follow them, and then interrogate oh boy, find out if Nerth is in on it as well, or if it's just the tiefling, and then see who is kind of organizing, if it's individual sects that each city is doing it, or if there's a bigger group as a whole. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How does that feel? Because we don't know if this is all connected to each city or not. Like obviously, Sethic killed them all in different cities, but that doesn't mean that we don't know if it's the same people that are dodging the raffle or if each individual city has like its underground means of making money off of allowing people to dodge the raffle.
Yeah.
So we good with that then? Just
Yep.
wait till they leave. All right, cool. Then yeah, that'll be our plan. We'll probably sit here, meander about. When it looks like they're starting to wind down, Nick, we
Mhm.
probably would like to bounce before them. So it's not one of those things like as soon as they walk off, we get up and leave. We'd probably like to try to beat them out. So when it looks like they're starting to wind down, or maybe he's getting his coin purse ready or something like that, we'll go ahead and pop smoke.
Sure. So after about an hour and a half in the tavern, you can see Nerth and this tiefling walk up to the bar, calls mom out, or calls Ma out, and says, "Well, Ma, I'd like to settle up my tab." And then Ma says, "Okay." So that kind of gives you the okay to leave. So while they're settling up your tab, I assume the four of you will exit the tavern. Are you gonna like kind of take up a post outside? Are you going? What exactly are you gonna do when you leave? Are you just gonna hang out outside and wait for them to leave as well?
Any of you guys
Maybe-
stealthy? Any of you guys stealthy?
Like I have a +4.
Well, I got a +1.
All right, so we can have you trail them. We follow you, so we're a good ways away. And then when we have a feeling that maybe we can head them off, right? Like we see them make a left or something like that, we take a left before them and try to head them off. Or do we
Okay.
want to do the old rope-a-dope and distract them with your sweet bard skills?
We could definitely try that.
Or I mean, or we could just have you follow them. We follow you, and then when you think, hey, it's pretty secluded, this would be a good time, you signal us, and we'll just catch up to you.
I like that. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Like I'll trail like maybe like 30 or 40 feet, and you guys do another like 30 feet behind me, and I'll kind of signal to you.
All right, sounds good to me.
Do you want a little bit of backup? Like if I can find like an animal of some type, I can use bee sense and another one. What is that second spell that I have? Speak with animals and bee sense. You know, I can see and hear through the animal, and have them like go along with you or something. Like just to say something happens to you, the animal's there. I can see and hear what's all going on, and I'm like, all right, guys.
I mean, we're within ear, like we can see him. We're not gonna lose him. I just don't want all four of us
Oh,
to be
okay,
close
okay.
enough for them to see.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay. I thought we were gonna be like a little ways away, and he was gonna make like some type of loud sound or something. We come rushing in.
Caca, caca.
All right, so you guys are kind of hanging out outside the tavern, and both Nerth and the tiefling, the armored tiefling, make their way out of the building and turn south along the. They turn south along the road, along the path, along the banks of the lake, in the direction of the Luskin Arms,
Arms. Is that the
which is the inn.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask. Interesting. All right. After they get about 30 or so feet, I'll go ahead and try to like stealth. I guess follow behind them as stealthily as possible.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So you don't want to interact with them. You just want to tail them.
Yeah, I'm just tailing them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Make me a stealth check.
17.
Okay. Yeah. They don't notice you at all as you're following them.
And presumably you guys are gonna tail behind me.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct, Moon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just tail them until they do anything that really stands out to me. Like they stop at a particular place or they do anything funny.
So you notice there is like zero talking between them. They're not conversing as they're walking along the shore of the lake, and you tail them all the way to the Luskan Arms. And the first time that they make any move is they enter into the Luskan Arms.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that the guys behind me can see.
Yep.
Can see that happen. Okay. So after they enter the Luskan Arms, I'll kind of like head back towards the group and sort of do we want to like follow them in there and like interrogate them in their room or?
I think you should go ahead at least so you can hear what room they're in, like while they're checking in.
Oh,
Well-
duh. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, are they locals? They're locals, right? If they're locals, why would they need to stay at an inn? They would have their own place.
Unless they're meeting somebody up at that inn.
All right, yeah, go ahead, go recon.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go ahead and just enter into the Luskan Arms.
Okay. So you go into this place of the Luskan Arms. I can't remember if you were here when the rest of everyone else was. I don't think so. I think that was when you were on your watch.
Yeah, I was not inside the Luskan Arms. I think I was outside of it.
Okay, so this place looks very old. And the decor inside reminds you of like the inside of inns and taverns that would be in Luskan. So it's sturdy walls, but the floorboards are kind of rotting away. And every once in a while, you can see a rat come out and scurry across the floor.
Lovely.
There is an old man, balding human, behind the counter that's kind of just got their hand on their head, kind of fiddling with a quill. They've got an open book in front of them. And you can see that Nerth and this tiefling acknowledge them, and he kind of gives a nod, and you watch them as they go up a flight of stairs, and then go up a second flight of stairs, and you lose them after that.
Okay. I'll approach the desk and just be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, my good man?"
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Luskan Arms. Is there something I can help you with?
Oh yeah, I was hoping to get a room here.
Sure, I can do that. And you see him flip a couple of pages. What's the name?
Sven.
Sven. Okay. Well, Sven, we have some basic rooms available here up on the second floor. It's 2 gold per night. Is it just you staying here?
I'm gonna be meeting somebody here, so I'll have one other person.
Okay. Sven
coming up here.
plus 1. All right. Yeah, can do it. It's just 2 gold.
2 gold. All right, I'll hand him over the 2 gold.
Okay. And
kind of ask him. Everything all right, man? You seem a little down.
you see him rub his eyes, and he just, this winter is just really, really getting to me. I fear that we're never gonna come out of this.
Dude, tell me about it.
Oh man.
I haven't lived in the north for that long, so this cold and lack of sunlight, it just kills me.
It's been
Like-
so long since we've seen a summer here, and I pray and hope that this lets up sometime soon. And he turns around, and you can see him go grab a key from a back pegboard, and he hands it over to you. And he says, "Your room 204, just up the steps over. It's nothing fancy, but it'll keep you warm for the night."
Hey, very much appreciated. Have a good night.
Thank you.
and I'll head my way upstairs
Mhm.
onto the second floor. Is there a third floor? Does it go up higher?
There are stairs to a third floor.
Okay. I feel like at this point I've just kind of lost them. I'm gonna keep going up the stairs.
Okay. So you're gonna go up to the third
Or-
floor.
Actually, before I do that, can I kind of like peek down the hall to see if I see anybody down the hall of the second floor?
No, you do not see anyone down the halls of the second floor.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the third floor then.
Third floor only has three rooms, three doors entering into places. The space in between the doors is much larger.
Okay, so these would be like the suites, kind of.
Mhm.
Is there a fourth floor?
There is not.
Okay. Can, can I just like make a perception check, just like see if I notice anything like? Actually, I do have something. Since like it's really snowy and everything, do I see any like footprints, like really recent, like wet footprints
Nice.
that
Make
lead to the
yeah.
rooms?
Make me an investigation check.
Ooh, this is not a great one for me. Oh, nice. 16.
Yes, you can see ever so smaller dwindling trails of like snow that's melted into footprints. There's definitely a fresh set of them, of four distinct footprints leading into, or two sets of footprints leading
Oh, okay.
into the middle one of these three rooms.
Okay. With that in mind, I'm gonna head back downstairs and head back outside. As I walk out, do I still see the? Well, no. Maybe I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head back downstairs and meet up with the guys outside.
Okay.
I'll tell them what I saw. That I saw the fresh tracks leading up into the third floor, the middle room. So, do we just like want to send like a couple of us up there and confront them, or what do you think?
I might have something. Nick, is there a window to the room?
Okay, so yeah, so you talk with Cyrus, kind of get a general sense of where this room would be from the outside. And yeah,
Mhm.
there are windows in the on the third floor. The window, or one of the windows, well, the windows, there would be two windows leading into that room based on its size. They are shut, and there are dark navy blue curtains drawn.
Is there some kind of ledge or rooftop or somewhere where a body can position itself outside the window?
Yes and no. It would be a very thin ledge on the window.
Like I would have to hold on to it with hands, or I could sit on it, or
Definitely not be able to sit on it. We're just talking like several inches of like a windowsill around.
Okay. And how far away is the window from the actual roof, the rooftop?
Well, this is the top floor, so maybe 5 feet down from the roof, 5-6 feet from the top of the roof.
Okay. And then how high is that ledge that you talked about from the ground?
So it'd be in the middle of the third floor. So if we say 10 feet, and then like 4 feet up from that, so 24 feet or so. 24,
Out-
25 feet high.
Outstanding. Okay. I can get up there and I can eavesdrop, but you wanted to say something, Akuma.
I was just gonna say that I can find familiar to make a fly, and then as long as the window's unlocked, I can use thaumaturgy to open the window and let the fly in the room.
All right, that's way better than me summoning Tomax. Go ahead and do that.
That is a much more. Yeah, that's a pretty slick plan.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right. I will use as a ritual find familiar. So like, are you guys cool with sitting here waiting 10 minutes, or do you want me to use a slot?
I would like to do it as quickly as possible,
Okay.
only because of the fact that if they are gonna talk about what just happened, they'll probably do it as soon as they get to the room. So
Okay.
I don't think we can afford to wait 10 minutes.
All right. So with that, I conjure a small ethereal fly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have it go up to the window, and I'm going to attempt to use my cantrip thaumaturgy to open the window and let the fly in.
Okay, so you can cast spells through this window, or through your familiar, right?
That I can do as well. Yes.
Okay. So are either of those level 1 sorcerer spells?
No, they're not.
Dang. All right. So, yes, your fly goes up to the window and you cast thaumaturgy through it. What are the components of thaumaturgy? Is there a somatic component? Is there
Verbal.
just verbal?
Yep.
Okay.
And I can cast it because you said it's 24 feet and my range is 30 feet, so I can cast it from the ground.
Okay. All right. So the door or this window, this double pane window flies open and this huge gust of wind kind of like blows by the window and your fly gets sucked into the room, and you see the very, very shortly after, within seconds, the armored tiefling stands up from a chair, walks over, and reshuts the window. But your fly is in the room.
I'm just gonna have it like nonchalant, like try to go to a corner.
Okay. So it's gonna fly and stick on the wall in the corner.
Preferably actually like lower to the ground, like as it comes in, skirts the side of the wall and down into the corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can do that. What else would you like to do?
Do you need any perception checks or anything like that?
So you get to see through your familiar, right?
Correct.
So you see what your familiar sees.
See and hear.
Okay. This room is quite large. This is definitely a suite, but it is still an inn's room, so it's kind of just one big room. It's not really sectioned off. There's 2 chairs, one of which has the tiefling sitting in it. There's some like a teapot and some cups, and then there's a table with like some pastries on them. The Nerth, you can see him in the opposite corner of the room. There are 3 cages with what look like flying snakes in them. So caged up is flying snakes, and you can see Nerth reach into a box that has holes in it, pulling out a small mouse in each and feeding it to these flying snakes.
Do I know anything about these snakes? Like, have I seen them before, or would I have any knowledge of them?
You can make me a nature check.
It's a 19.
Okay. Brightly colored winged serpents. They're typically found in jungles. Sometimes tribespeople, cultists, political figures, basically anyone that has any sort of rank within a group of people will domesticate flying snakes that have them serve as like messengers and deliver scrolls and wrapped things to other people. That could be what is going on here.
So kind of like messenger pigeons.
Yeah, exactly. But instead of a bird, it's a flying snake.
Are they
And
venomous?
Are they venomous?
They are not.
Okay.
Let's see here. What else do you see? Can you hear through your familiar?
I can.
So make me a perception check on that one.
Uh-oh. All right, 17.
17. Okay. You can hear a couple of things that they discuss. One, the tiefling says Enrin is paid up for this month, so make sure his name stays out of the lottery when you perform the lottery. And you see Nerith kind of like acknowledge that. Okay, I'll make sure that happens. And Nerith says there's also one other thing, and unfurls the note and passes it off to Nerith. Nerith reads it and says, "Gosh, as if we didn't have anything else on our plate. I guess this is exactly what we need right now. But I guess we have this task as well." And the armored tiefling just kind of nods and says, "Yeah, I'm on it. I'll take care of it." And then Nerith says, "Good. We've got a lot to do here in Targos, and a lot to do coming up in what's the other city that he mentions? He mentions. Oh, I'm sorry. I should know this one. We have a lot to do here in Targos, and we have a lot to do in Goodmead. And they say, he says, the town speaker election is coming up very soon.
And what do they do with the note?
He reads it, and then he kind of sets it. He just sets it down on like an end table.
Okay. Do they seem to be doing anything else right now?
Not really, just kind of conversing, taking sips of their coffee, eating the pastry that they have, just kind of the end day debriefing.
And do I get the vibe that they stay in this room?
Yes.
Can I try to... Where is the note set down in like conjunction with the bed and the snakes?
So the snakes and the beds are kind of off on the opposite side of the room. The note, we'll say, is set down on the table that has their coffee and pastries that they're eating, where there's two kind of like big cushioned seats on each opposite side of it.
Is there any way I could like sneak the fly around so that it's not noticed?
You can certainly try. You can have your fly make a stealth check.
Yeah.
And
Flies have to have good dexterity, right?
I would say so. And also because it is a tiny beast, or I believe it would be classified as tiny. I'll let you make your stealth check with advantage.
Okay. First roll is a 17, and the second roll is a 4. So I will prefer the 17.
Okay. Does your fly have any modifiers to that, or that includes those modifiers?
That include, well, not the fly, includes my stealth bonus.
Okay. So yes, your fly lands on the table where the note is.
And can I read it?
You certainly can. I am going to send you something here very quickly. Where's it at? Okay, I sent you something via Discord. Oh man.
So I'm going to read this aloud to the group. Nearly 6 months ago, a team of swindlers took 2 of our 4 field agents for 200 gold and gems. We've apprehended and disposed of one of them here in Waterdeep, a worthless human charlatan named Galrig. We have reason to believe the other is in 10 towns. Be on the lookout for a male elf, green eyes, pale skin, blonde hair, somewhere between 5.5 and 6 feet tall. Help will be arriving in the following weeks. Davil.
And then splat. A rolled up piece of parchment comes and splats your fly.
Cool.
What was the
Cyrus.
description again?
Cyrus was the description.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think I might have been 5'11". I don't think I'm quite 6 foot. Cyrus is pale upon hearing this, and tries to kind of pass it off a little bit like, oh, that's kind of weird, but it doesn't really seem to involve us at all, so maybe this is just kind of a dead lead, guys. But, you know, maybe we should just go back and try and see if we can find Enrin. I don't think this really has anything to do with us.
Can I make an insight check on...
On your own party member?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, we just met yesterday. I think it's
13.
feasible.
Gigroth will do so as well.
So Akuma rolled a 13.
So this is a contested roll. So well,
Gigroth made an 8.
you Cyrus, you know whether you are telling the truth, whether you're lying, whether you're trying to deceive them. So you make the appropriate roll against their rolls, and whoever's higher essentially wins.
Oh, hey, I'm going to use my portent roll for this action. And he rolls a 2.
I roll a 2?
Yeah, Cyrus rolls a 2.
So I have a question about this, because this is an interesting situation then, because part of my Bard College is I have Silver Tongue. Whenever I make a persuasion or deception check, I can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Sure, yeah. So you can.
So if you make it a 2, I'm still gonna get a 15 as a minimum.
Okay.
Okay,
So yes,
then
you
you
can
win.
you can treat that 2 as a 10.
Well, that sucks. Alright,
Gigroth make like intimidation.
Can Grigroth do what? Make a what?
Intimidation.
Against your own party member? Sure, certainly.
Because the way he was talking, I don't believe him. So I kind of want to intimidate him to speak the truth. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Cyrus. I'm sorry.
So this is going to be, you get to
I'm
use
heartbroken.
your intimidation, Gigroth. Cyrus, you get to be. Would be a contested roll from you as well. Use your charisma modifier, and I'm not sure if there is a skill that you could use to apply to this. Maybe like insight.
Oh, to see if I'm not intimidated by Gigroth?
Yeah.
I think insight is a fair one, just because it's like I can see whether or not he genuinely means it, I guess.
Sure, yeah. So use you can make an insight roll, Cyrus, but use your charisma modifier instead of your wisdom modifier. Gigroth, you get to make you can make your intimidation check as well.
Okay. Baby. 18.
I rolled the 12.
So Gigroth is just gonna like walk up to Cyrus and go, Cyrus, you speak the truth. Or it sounds like you.
Well, there are a lot of elves that, tall green eyes. There's a lot of elves like that. Fine, okay. So, before I came up here to the north, I spent a lot of time down in Waterdeep, and I had a partner, Galrig, who I'm not sure why they called him a human because he was a dwarf. uh, but yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
He's
the
a
note
very
said it was
skinny
the
dwarf.
note said it was a dwarf. Then
Did,
I didn't
yeah,
know
but
what race they were. So they were a dwarf.
it, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, well, in short, we were con artists. We pulled stunts on people and would play tricks, run cons, basically do whatever we wanted to get gold out of people. And everything was fine. We were killing it. We were raking in tons of gold. Problem, little snag occurred when one night we pull a stunt on some schmuck at the bar. We see him in his black gear. He didn't seem like much, just seemed like a typical adventurer type. Figured we could go pawn off some dull short sword to him as if it were the mythical sword of Gyros, which isn't even a real god, by the way. I just made it up and thought he'd buy it. Well, he saw through our bullshit real quick, and turned out he wasn't just some schmuck. He was a part of the Xantarum, which, if you're not familiar, is basically the mafia. They're head honchos. They have members all over Waterdeep and probably the rest of Faerun. And I didn't know what happened to Galrig after that because we both kind of darted ways. But it sounds like they got him, and that's why I ran up here to the north, because I was being chased by the Xantarum.
The
Hey, Roth.
Centarum.
Oh, sorry.
The Centarum are no laughing matter. Are they chasing you here?
I mean, why the hell else would they be here? And obviously, that note is referencing that. I figured, why who in their right mind would come up north, to 10 towns, this bleak, desolate, and endless winter, as opposed to the bustling, rich city of Waterdeep? I don't want to fucking be here. I'm just trying to save my
This
skin.
is quite the predicament. They, I mean, do they know who you are specifically, or do they only have a description? Because you have magic, yes?
Yeah. I mean, I'm no wizard, far from it, really. But I've got enough cantrips and cheap tricks I can do a little bit here or there.
Is it possible for you to disguise yourself?
I mean, I'm sure I can, but I didn't
The
know how long.
alternative-
They're thorough members. Like, even if I I've got my wigs and I've got my disguise kits from when I pulled stunts, but they know my bullshit. I wouldn't be surprised if they could sneak past it. But I guess it's worth a shot.
I mean, what are the alternatives? We can't exactly have a beacon following us around, no? I mean, I am one that is. I've had my altercations with the law and occasional underground organizations, but there's no bounty on my head. This is serious. The If I could be frank, you admitted now being a con artist, and we do appreciate your candor. Can we trust you, or are we merely another con?
If you want my honest take on this, I sort of joined. I really didn't need the gold that badly. I sort of joined because, the lummox over here, I point to Gigaroth. He seemed like a pretty tough security, so I figured if anything went south, I was in the clear, right? I've got a big old Goliath bodyguard. What's gonna go wrong there? But I had no intentions of pulling anything on you guys, especially if you were, gonna be helping me out.
I will look over at Akuma. What is your
I mean,
take
if-
on this?
If we could turn him in. But I'm not exactly wanting to work with the Zentarum, and I don't exactly feel bad for them being fleeced out of 200 gold either.
I mean,
Uh,
I am for the people, and organizations like that, they oppress the people just as much as the government. So I'm definitely not one for working with them.
But at the same time, they oppose the Frostmaiden, and we still don't know why the Frostmaiden is doing what she's doing. So is the
What?
Frostmaiden necessarily in the wrong here, or is it the Zentarum?
We don't know. It is still way too premature in our investigation.
The part that's got me most concerned is I don't get the impression that the Tiefling was part of the Xantarum. Maybe the Nerith and like Nerith and like his like kind of black, armor and getup kind of maybe gave me that impression. But the Tiefling, I get the impression is part of the city guards, so that means the Xantarum basically owns. Is this Torga? Torga.
Targos.
Targos. Yeah, Targos.
And it
Which
sounds
means
like they're trying to rig the good meat election as well.
Makes
So that
sense. The more people that they can get in their favor, the more power they have over the cities.
that makes me wonder if the rigging of the election is actually a matter of, the individual members of the town, or is that just the Xantarum's hand?
If I would have to take a guess, I shall say it is the Zentarum. Because once you have been claimed and have a taste for evil and undermining, it becomes significantly easier. Well, friends, I for one vote to get to the bottom of this. And if the Zentarum is attempting to reach Waterdeep, or correction, Icewind Dale, this would thwart a bit of a plan for legitimate commercial franchising here in Icewind Dale, which obviously I have personal gain to gain. So that is my vote.
And I don't think it's fair for the people here to be exploited by the Zentarum and by this Frostmaiden. I mean, I'm no stranger to the cold, but this place sucks.
Here, here. Well, I
Gigroth,
guess I'm kind
Gigroth
of
agrees.
involved. I guess I'm kind of involved just by the nature of it, and I can't say whether or not the Xantarum were already here, but or maybe they came here in pursuit of me and started running business. Either way, it would be wrong of me not to try and do something about this.
Gigroth will walk over to Cyrus and he will say, "Your previous words cut deeper than any blade." Right here. And then he'll go, "But you are doing the right thing, my tiny elf friend. So venture on with us and prove yourself to be an honorable man."
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but sure, let's get to the bottom of this.
Do it or kick your ass.
Make me an intimidation check.
Awesome. Intimidation, don't fail me now. And
I've got a 22.
Gigroth, what was your intimidation check roll?
I think we
If he
might
d-
have lost him.
If he doesn't respond in the next 5 seconds, it's a 0.
All right.
my dearest apologies, comrades. Hello?
Yep, you're here. What was your
Yep,
what's your
okay,
what was
there.
your intimidation check?
Well, first off, I want to say my dearest apologies. My internet went ape shit, right there. I have a 16 intimidation check.
All right. You do not intimidate Cyrus.
Damn it! What did he roll?
22. Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll be a better person.
And then Garage just gives you a big old hug.
Which breaks my spine.
Which breaks your spine.
Yeah, just like it was completely unintentional. Just I'm dead now. I'm crippled for this campaign.
Somebody heal up real quick.
Okay. All right. What would you like to do tonight? Are you going to turn into the room that Cyrus purchased for the night, or
That would be good idea since 2 people are low on health.
you're going to get yourself a nice long rest at the Luskin Arms?
What time is it right now?
Oh, it's definitely well into the evening.
If you guys want to get a long rest, I'll take a short rest and then I'll go down to the lobby for like coffee and the newspaper at early and keep an eye on the front door.
So I'm normally totally cool with that, but do you need to take a full rest?
I have
So,
no
like-
level 1 spell slots. So I guess like a long rest would let me recover all 4 of my level 1 spell slots.
The reason I offer me doing that is because I have, being an elf, instead of needing to take a full long rest, I can meditate for 4 hours and accomplish the same thing.
Okay. Yeah,
so
that's
I can
probably
go. So we can all be healed up, and I'll just I'll throw on a wig or something and sit down front.
All right.
Before you guys crash, what's our next step?
Do y'all want to do the whole water serpent thing before we get on to the mafia thing, or because I'm assuming that the tiefling and I forgot, was it Nerf?
Nerth?
Nerf. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in town the next day or so. So if we want to go get more information out of them, we can the next day. Or like I said, we can go do the water serpent thing.
So we still have a meeting set for Lynn Trollbane, and as of right now, she's our only ally. And
Oh,
she's
right,
from
right.
around here, so she would know when Nerth was elected and kind of like the election, how he came into power here, and maybe we could get a lead that would get us into Goodmead before the election there. Or we can figure out what's happening in Goodmead.
We could also get any information about like where the Zentarum has like reach in the local 10 towns, if it's just Targos or if it's like, all 10 towns. Kind of know where we can and can't go, without maybe putting, me at risk or us at risk as a result.
I don't think kidnapping a mid-level Zentarum boss is exactly in our best interest right now.
No, I agree with you there.
I don't think you were paid enough to do that, were you, Zymat?
Nope, definitely not.
Okay. Well then it sounds like we're gonna go back to the meetup, and go from there.
Okay. All right. So you guys take your long rest then, and go about your next day. So if you're gonna go back to Bryn Shander and meet Flynn Trollbane, turn the body in.
I think
Yes.
that's our next goal. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because we want.
one thing I want to do before we go too far is part of my race, the Eladrin, is basically at the end of every long rest you can choose a season, and sort of like your appearance can slightly alter towards that season. And since we have that whole issue with me being a target, I'm gonna go ahead and change it to winter. So I'd like to think that this like just slightly discolors my hair. Maybe my eyes turn blue instead of green. I get a bit paler. And apart from aesthetics, this only makes like a slight change on my phase step ability. Other than that, it's mostly cosmetic.
Okay. So you look slightly different. Different eye color, your hair shade goes darker a little bit, so it's not quite blonde, so it kind of darkens up to more of a brown color. You were already fairly pale, but your skin goes even paler, and so your appearance is slightly altered, hoping to throw off the description that the Zents have of you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next morning, you're heading back to Bryn Shander, or is there anything you want to do in Targos before you leave?
I think
Zymon's
I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
Okay.
Good route's good.
All right. So the trek back to Bryn Shander takes, let's see here, from Targos is a 2-hour trek. You have your body on your tauntauns, on your axe beaks. You walk it all back to Bryn Shander, and you can see an older hooded woman who has a post outside of the north gate of Bryn Shander. And as you approach the north gate, this figure stands up and says, you are back sooner than expected. It is Hlyn Trollbane.
Well,
And,
we like to work quick.
I can see that. Very, very good. And you have taken care of the threat of Sefik?
Sefik
Let's
wasn't
just
exactly
say-
trying to hide.
Let's just say he's colder than when we found him.
She she nods and says, "You have proof?"
Do you got our money?
Proof first, sir.
Half and half. We give you a hand, you give us half the coin.
As I recall, I already paid some coin up front.
While they're doing this, I'm going to walk over to the axe beak and start untying it.
Okay. She follows, stands next to you as you're doing this.
Just completely ignores Gigroth.
Oh yeah. This woman is like, she's been around. She understands the deal.
Just a test. Just a test.
All right, and then Akuma. So you kind of like pull up the tarp,
Yep.
and there's Sefik's body laying face down across the axe beak. And Lynn nods and says, "Very good work. Hopefully, this takes care of the killings that have been happening around. As promised, I owe each of you some gold."
Yes, it was 100 gold each, right?
I don't believe that to be the agreed upon price.
Can I make a persuasion check?
You can make it with disadvantage.
We got that
Okay.
portent roll. Do you have a portent roll we can use?
I have a
got-
7, which would give him a 10.
I'll just stick to my own rolls. My first was a 15.
Mm-hmm.
Second was a 17.
Okay.
Ooh.
So a 15.
15, she says, "You adventurers are all the same." She pulls out the pouch, and she looks at you, Zymot, and she hands it over to you. You can distribute this. It was 130 gold total. And then she says, go to, or next time you're at the Black Iron Blades, mention my name, and I'm sure they'll cut you a discount for any things that you need from them in the future.
Before we go, I have to ask you, what was your interest in having this man killed?
Sport. I've been out of the bounty hunting game for a while. Sense of moral decency. towns weren't going to do anything about it. So I kind of took it upon myself to right the wrongs that have been happening, making sure no more wrongs are going to happen in the future.
And how did you find out about Sethic in the first place?
Well, as a bounty hunter myself in my younger years, it wasn't too hard to track down that assassin.
And you weren't paid for this or compensated by anyone else?
Not at all.
Have you heard of anything?
Can I make a? I just want to do a quick thing. Can I make an insight check when she said not at all?
Yeah.
About she wasn't in contact with anyone else.
Yeah.
That's a 6. So
You believe she's truthful.
okay.
Zymot, you were going to say something?
Have you caught any wind or underlines of the Zentarum having influence here in 10 towns?
I've heard rumors. Mainly over in Targos. I don't know how deep they run. Zentarum are everywhere. From here all the way up in the north, down further south, all the way to Baldur's Gate. It doesn't shock me that if there would be Zentarum holdings here.
Do you believe that all these murders, as well as all those that are dodging the raffle, are connected somehow, maybe through the Zentarum or through outside means?
Well, the Zentarum would certainly not want their agents being killed. So keeping their names out of the raffles makes sense.
Do you know anything about the mayor of Targos?
Nerth?
Yes.
Bit of a talker, schmoozing. He definitely bought his way into power. About a year ago, he showed up, started schmoozing with the locals, buying things for the fishermen. And when an election came up, he threw his name in the ring and, well, having won over everyone, it kind of won in a landslide. Throwing coin around the towns. Yeah, it's pretty easy for him to win that election.
What is your take on him?
I've never met the man personally, but just his actions reek of insincerity. Whether he's actually a man of the people, I don't buy it.
And do you know anything about the upcoming election in Goodmead?
Good question.
Got him. Probably means it doesn't matter if he doesn't know.
Only that their speaker, Kendrick Reelsbarrow, was killed very recently via Verbeeg, leaving the town leaderless.
What's a verbig?
Make me a history roll, or a history or a nature roll.
Can Gigroth do the same?
Sure.
It's 20 modified for nature.
20 as well, modified.
Okay. A Verbeeg is... they're giants that resemble oversized humans, and they have these, like, gangly limbs and elongated faces. They're kind of like... I don't want to call them Goliaths, but they're a race of giants, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Like,
Okay.
what are they like compared to, like, say, hill giants, like size wise?
Their size is large.
Large. Okay.
Mhm.
And do they have any sort of political alignment?
No, of a Verbeeg? No, Verbeegs are they're roamers. They're out in the wild. They live off of the wild.
Then it seems strange to me why one would kill the previous.
Let's see here. Um so she says, "Oh, this killing wasn't a hit." Says Speaker Kendrick Reelsbarrow delivering a was delivering a delivery of mead to Bryn Shander, and was attacked by a Verbeeg and killed in that attack.
Okay.
Is the perpetrator of this attack, is this a repeat offender? Is this an actual problem or a one-time event?
Attacks along the road can happen. There's all sorts of wild animals, wolves, beasts, owlbears, yetis, all throughout Icewind Dale. Typically, they don't make it as far as the roads of 10 towns. They can, but typically they don't. This Verbeeg must just happen to have been in the area and killed the speaker and stole the delivery.
Are there any survivors from the party?
Let's see here. No, no, but the town is awfully riled up about it. They it seems they care more about their mead than their dead speaker.
Question: if the Zentarum are potentially the ones that are allowing all of these officials to dodge the raffle, then do you know what party might essentially be opposing them and were funding Sethic?
I would assume that she says I don't know. In other cities, typically other than the town's militias, an organization like the Harpers would oppose the Zentarum. They're a fairly secretive organization, though. I don't know of any other organizations in this area that would be doing that, or any organizations at all in here. Possibly just the Frostmaiden not approving of these murders, not approving of people dodging their sacrifices to her.
That is interesting. That was similar to the answer I was looking for, as Sethic did admit being an agent of the Frostmaiden. I just wanted to verify whether that could have been true or simply a ruse. Does the Frostmaiden communicate with the people of 10 Towns?
Not at all.
That's how you're aware of this.
Not at all. It's just a hunch I had. The Frostmaiden is most definitely reclusive.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
As far as her not, or it just being a general hunch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Never mind. 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Never mind.
You-
Seems believable.
Yeah. Seems believable. You don't really get a great read on her. Kind of just
Okay.
take her at face value.
Tough old
Alright.
broad.
Yep. I'm good. I think that's all the questions I got. I don't know if you guys have anything else for her.
Why would you mentioned the Harpers? Why would they be interested in political power here in 10 Towns?
I don't believe the Harpers would be interested in political power. The Harpers are an organization throughout Faerun that opposes evil, essentially. They don't want to see things fall into the wrong hands. And so they've always directly opposed organizations like the Zentarum, like the Xanathar Guild, and the Arcane Brotherhood to an extent. But they just don't want bad things to happen for the good of the people. They're a very, very good, lawful organization.
Do you know any active members of the Harpers here in 10 Towns?
Not at all.
Well, thank
They
you
they,
for your
they don't typically make themselves known.
Has there been any like recent incidents where I guess what I'm trying to ask is, do you have any leads on like where they might be located at, or just a general idea of if we wanted to contact them, where they would be at?
The Harpers?
Yeah.
They'll contact you. If the Harpers have a presence here, and I have no reason to believe that they do, they would contact you. You don't contact them, they contact you.
One last question for you from me. Do you know anything about the people running for the mayor of Goodmead currently?
I only know one candidate is a red-bearded shield dwarf who is a logger named Shander Froth. And the other is Olivessa Untapor. And I'll spell those out. I'll spell that out for you. Olivessa is her first name. Last name Untapor. She descends from the town's Cholton founders who make casks to hold the Goodmead's famous brew.
And what was the shield dwarf's name again?
Shander Froth. Shandar. And then Froth, Froth.
Thank you, Trollbane.
Thank you.
So we head to Goodmead, try to see what's up with this election. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I wish
mean,
we had
that's-
more of a lead.
I was gonna suggest that maybe we hire her help in just digging up more information. You know, being our informant, things of that nature. Like, hey, can you continue to dig around for us, learn more about what's going on, learn more about these elections, if there's any other people disappearing, the inclusion of the mafia and things of that nature.
Speaking of which, real quick, just before I forget, Nick, how much? It was 130 gold in the sack.
Yep.
All right. What? 30, 68. All right. Each of us gets 30 gold, and then I'll just take the 10 for the group fund for right now. Or actually, I'm sorry. Everyone gets 32 gold. I don't know. She seemed like she was already forthcoming with any information she had. I don't know. Like I can see the value of her because she's a local, but I don't know.
While we still have her here, we should probably ask her if she has any associates in good mead that we can name drop her when we arrive.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "No, I pretty much have stayed to Targos, East Haven, and Bryn Shander. Um, but but I'm happy to keep my ears to those grounds. I will be on the lookout for Zentarum. I will definitely, if any other information comes up, you can see me."
And do you have any informants or other eyes and ears in Targos and I'm sorry, what was the other one?
East Haven.
East Haven. There we go.
She
Yeah.
says,
Do you,
I prefer to work alone."
well,
Well,
any
we
help?
appreciate any information you give us.
Yes, any help is very much appreciated. Thank you very much, small friend.
Absolutely.
So I
Should we
guess
give
give
good
her the
meat is
body?
our.
Um, I'd assume
I left
so.
over there. She could deal with it.
Oh wait, I want to strip the clothes first. We can sell it. Or is that too
We
creepy?
don't want
This-
evidence on us, Gigroth. It's fine. We'll save
This
the
is
coin.
very in character for Gigroth, though. Wanting to
Yeah.
strip this man
Yeah.
down.
Very
Yeah,
much
just
in
like-
character.
Very much like
So-
he's a gig, like use everything that you can, kind of thing. Like like
Sure.
All
leave
parts of the
nothing.
buffalo.
Yep, all parts of the buffalo. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, no evidence.
Okay. All right. So what's your next move? Going to Goodmead? Going to East Haven? Going to Bremen? What is your next move?
Reviewing my notes, in Bryn Shander, Finney, the elderly man, was one of the next targets for Sethic. I feel like we should find this Finney while we're here in Bryn Shander, and maybe, I don't want to say interrogate an old man, but figure out why he's paying off the Zentarum, possibly.
Well,
Yeah.
this is how I think about it. The only way to get your name out of the drawing is to have a lot of gold. So most likely he's a person of political status, or maybe he's like a business owner, but like of a large multiple businesses. So maybe we should start asking around, like, hey, I've heard of this guy named like Philly. Do you know him? Like in more around more political figures first.
I don't really want to blow our cover and let people know we're like looking for the Zentarum, though, necessarily.
We could
Okay.
at least like ask around about whatever that guy's name was.
The description I
Finney?
think we were given last week was Finney, the elderly man, in Bryn Shander.
Yeah, we could still ask around about Finney. Just like, I don't think that would be too conspicuous.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's putting pieces of the puzzle together, finding out why all these three people were the next targets, and if they're all connected with the Zentarum or if it is separate.
Maybe we could at least find out who he was paying.
Also, something that just crossed my mind, since one side of this is the Zentarum and the other side is the Rime of the Frostmaiden, do we want to see if there's any like Frostmaiden sympathizers that we could potentially get some more insight as far as the Frostmaiden side of things? Is that something that you guys are interested in, or do we want to deal with one side of it at a time?
No, because we still don't know, because like there's two sides, and we don't know necessarily if it's evil versus evil, or like why we don't know the Frost Maiden, like other than people saying Frost Maiden's this demigod, like we still don't have a motive for the Frost Maiden.
I wonder if there's like any like local shrines or local, I think it would be interesting to figure out.
We'll just add
You
that
know.
we'll add that to the questioning, and when you guys are asking around about Finney.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a good spot for a break. You guys kind of have your plans ready to go. We'll take a quick short break here. About 8 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna refill my coffee mug, and don't go anywhere, anyone. We will be right back as more and more of this plot will hopefully unfurl. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, here we are. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. And there we are. All right. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we kind of have a plan set in place, or the group has a plan seemingly set in place. They've recently learned of Zentarum interaction, or Zentarum have somewhat of a hold in 10 towns, at least in Targos, and possibly in other cities as well. So you're currently in Bryn Shander. It is about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., or what you would perceive as about 10 a.m. It's finally about dim light out. The Frostmaiden's spell only leaves for about 4 to 5 hours of daylight per day. So it's currently at the very beginning of that. You're welcome to kind of explore Bryn Shander some more. You had mentioned wanting to go to Goodmead and see what's happening with the election going on there. What's going on with them needing a new town speaker. What would you like to do?
I think step number 1 is ask about Finney here in Bryn Shander, since we're already here, and see if since he was trying to avoid the raffle, if there's any tie he has to the Zentarum, or the Frostbane for that matter.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And how would you like to go about do that? Do you want to check out? Do you want to go back to the North Look, which is the Inn and Tavern?
Well, what I really wanted to do was just like have us march down the street with like our 2 buckbeaks or whatever, and then just be shouting out, "Yo, Finney, where you at?"
Just being as loud and as obnoxious about it as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
No, we're not going to do that.
I thought we really were. I thought I was gonna start saying, "Hey, where's that gnome that got chloroform?"
We need to use it for sleep.
I got night terrors.
It's true. We sleep in the same bed. It's quite obsessing. It's upsetting.
I'm a kicker.
All right. I would say before we leave, we could ask what's her name about Finney, if she's familiar. What's her the bounty hunter we were just talking to before we leave. We'll just ask her about if she's familiar with name Finney.
Hulin Trollbane.
Thank you.
I've never heard of that name before. I don't know who that might be. She says, if you'd like me to find out, I can.
Yeah, as long as you can be discreet about it. We don't want to make too much of a ruckus here.
And you know,
10 towns.
And you know they're in Bryn Shander?
We have a strong hunch that they are.
All right. I'll be more than happy to do that, given what you've done for me.
Thank you very much, Trollbane.
Okay. So you can leave this duty to Trollbane and go about something else, or if you would also like to pursue it, you can do that too.
Do we want to just like head to a local tavern here in Bryn Shander and ask around, see if we spot anything, or just schmooze and see if we can find anybody who knows the name Finney?
We never got any information about Finney, like, at all, right? What type of occupation or anything like that at all, Nick?
You know they're an older human, and the target was in Bryn Shander, and that's it.
What about potentially, Akuma, making yourself look like an older gentleman, and then we can go under the pretense of you being an old friend of his, trying to find him to meet up with him. Unless
Yeah,
someone has a
that'd
better
be
idea of not being a bunch of goons being like, yo, where Finny at?
Yeah, I could use I could use disguise self and could do that.
But how are we gonna go about it though? If you disguise yourself as an old man, what are people gonna say with an old man walking around with a gigantic Gigroth with a gigantic Goliath, and just like we're distant? I'm his distant grandson.
They're a couple, who are they to judge?
Are there a couple?
Oh, what? You got a problem with how I live my life now?
Big water for big man.
Okay. So that's what you want to do. You want to go to the North Look and Akuma asking around as an old friend.
Yeah, sure.
Works for me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the North Look is right inside the North Gate. And you're familiar with this establishment. This is where you all first met up. So you know this big tavern. It's always kind of bawdy in here. All sorts of people. It attracts all different types of clientele. The inside, bunch of people around, all drinking, all swapping stories. There's a huge mounted fish on a plaque above the hearth in the common room. There is a human who's working the bar behind the counter.
An elderly human?
No.
Oh.
Do I see? Presuming I used my minor or my disguise self to make myself appear as an elderly man. When I walk in, well ahead of the other guys, they're not with me. Do I see any other elderly men or older group of guys?
No, you do not. I mean, you there's all sorts of different people here, but none that fit the description that you have of Finny.
I guess I'll just like kind of shamble up to the bar
Mm-hmm.
and order a shot of like cinnamon whiskey.
Okay. The bartender. Oh, hello. You look well traveled, kind sir. Here, allow me. And he hands over. It says, "First one's on the house."
Oh, thank you, young man. And I'll slam it back.
Okay. He
I'm
well
sorry.
traveled indeed. He definitely takes note of your willingness to drink.
It's a lot colder than I remember it here in 10 Towns.
Ah, you've been here before. Typically, people that leave 10 Towns don't come back.
I'm looking for a friend I used to work with. His name's Finney. I was hoping maybe I'd find him here. I haven't talked to Finney in almost 30 years.
He it gets his attention. Definitely gets his attention. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I know Finney. Finney used to frequent this establishment here, but hasn't in days."
Hasn't in days. Where would he be?
Well, several days ago was the last time I saw Finney. He told me his daughter and her husband left. Just up and left the town to go to Dinival? How do I pronounce this? Dinival, I guess is how it's pronounced. Left to go to Dinival, and left their 2 young children. So he has been having to look after them. So I have not seen him in days.
Could you point me in a direction of his place?
And who's asking?
Oh, his old friend. God damn.
Gene.
Yeah, Gene.
His old friend Gene.
Gene Autry.
Gene Autry. Okay. Well, Gene. My name's Scrimsax. I'm the proprietor here. And what? That's his name.
I didn't say anything.
Scrimsax.
Yeah, I acknowledge that.
He said.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. He lives over by the House of the Morning Lord.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sachs. I appreciate such help from a young man like yourself. This is a beautiful establishment.
Oh, well, thank you. I try to keep it up and running for all of these people. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, and I'll make sure to leave a gold on the bar before I get up to leave.
All right.
That should have tipped off Scrimsax right there, because an old man would never leave an entire gold. He'd leave like half a copper or something. And he's like, "This'll get you through the winter."
He's just a poor tipper. He has no
Oh,
concept.
yeah.
Has no concept of what the money is actually worth.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he lives over by the House of the Morning Lord.
All right, and I'll walk outside and kind of wait till we're alone to drop the illusion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can reconvene with your party.
And I pass on that, like, hey, Finney's living over by the House of the Morning Lord, looking after a couple of kids.
Did they give any particular reason why his kids departed and left the grandkids?
I didn't want to dig too much with the barkeep, given my poor backstory.
Fair. All right. Well, yeah. Let's go over
Seemed
there
to
and let's have a conversation. You didn't ask what he's doing these days, do you? Other than taking care of the kids, as far as occupation and stuff.
No, I did not.
All right. Let's have at it. Mr. Conman, you want to take a point on this one?
Sure, I'm willing to do that. I guess I'll be a traveling salesman. Can I stop by like a general store or something on the way there? And I just want to pick up a generic pot.
I probably picked one up when I was grabbing stuff
Okay.
to disguise the body on the axe beaks.
Oh, perfect. I'll just borrow. I'll borrow the one from Zemet.
Okay. All right. Yes. So you make your way over to near the House of the Morning Lord, and there's there's residential areas there, and various residential houses. You can visit the House of the Morning Lord. You can knock on doors. Try to find this other guy. Try to find Finney.
Oh, so you're saying we can knock on doors, or...
Yeah. What would you like to do as you make your way over this way?
Okay. How many houses do we see?
There's a couple.
A couple of houses. Is there one that looks more run down, or is there any details about the houses you can give us?
One that might have like kids' toys outside or something. Maybe a swing.
Yeah.
Maybe a wind chime on the porch.
Yeah, exactly that. There's one. There's a small cement or brick patio, so to speak, and it's got like what would be like a sandbox, but it's clearly just covered in snow. There's like a little trowel and little plastic toys, little wooden toys in there.
If I had to take a stab at it, not that I am a gabbling man, I think this may be the place we're looking for, friends.
That seems to make the most sense to me. Well, I'll take the pot with pot in hand. I'm going to walk up to the front door and knock.
Okay. So you knock on the door, and after a little bit, you can hear an unlocking mechanism. The door cracks open, and a little old man, balding, but gray hair, kind of neck length gray hair, no facial hair whatsoever. Kind of leans out, wrapped up in a cloak, and says, "Yes, excuse me, hello."
Well, good afternoon, my good man. How are you on this fine day?
I'm fine. What can I do for you? Hello.
Well, I was hoping you had a moment to talk about this amazing product I have right here. And I hold up the pot and I say, "Do you ever have the issue of more and more dirty clothes than you can handle and not enough time to handle it?"
Well, I do have two young children in here who wear through their clothes quite frequently. Yes.
Oh, that's got to be a handful, right?
I suppose it is. Yes.
Well,
why do
have
you
I
ask?
Well, because I've got a product right here that can solve that for you today. Do you have a moment to talk?
I guess so. I don't really have a whole lot else going on. And he opens the door
Right.
a little bit wider. What is the rest of the party doing?
Awkwardly standing on the sidewalk, just staring.
So he opens the door and there's Cyrus pitching some miracle product for doing laundry, and the rest of the group is just standing back behind it. And this super awkward situation. Are they with you? Why? I'm so confused.
We're responsible for carrying the merchandise. Obviously, the sample he is carrying is only the sample. We actually have the rest of the wares.
Make me a deception check.
They call me Mule.
And you guys, you can do it with one of you can do it with advantage.
Yeah, why don't we have me do it?
All right,
Just-
have at it.
So first is an 18,
Mm-hmm.
23.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Please come in out of the cold. You
Oh,
can
thank you so much.
you can come in.
And I
The rest
gesture
of
for you to
you,
come in.
you can come in as well. And it's kind of one big open family room, and there are two kids about the age of 3, kind of off on the other side of the room playing on a rug, and they have like little wooden toys. One's carved into like a deer. The other one is carved into a horse. Another one is carved into like a walrus, and you can see them kind of like playing with them.
Oh, what lovely kids you have. This is such a nice home.
Yes, they are my daughters. These are my grandchildren. So yes, you're telling me about this clothing product?
Why, yes. And so I'll sort of reach into my bag, and sort of as I reach in, I'll just like grab like a cloth or some shirt or something, and while my hand's in the bag on the shirt or whatever, I'm gonna cast prestidigitation, and I can like dirty it or soil it. So I'm just gonna like make it, kind of like messy and dirty, right? Or I'll
Mhm.
just grab some dirty shirt I have or whatever, and I'm gonna pull it out. Well, you see this dirty cloth I have right here? It's disgusting. It's frankly hideous.
Oh, quite.
So, and with
I'd like
just
to
this
do something during this, but I'll wait till he's done.
Okay. With this special product right here, I open the lid of the pot, put the cloth in there, and shut the lid on the pot. And as I do that, I'm going to shake it back and forth, and I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to clean the the shirt while it's in there.
Sure. Okay. All right.
And then I do that for, like 10 seconds or so. And I pull off the lid and I pull out the shirt, and it's like, just like that,
It's magically
it's
clean. All right. So you got your OxyClean pot. You Billy Mays sales pitch this thing to this guy. And
Oh, I should have gone for that delivery too.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. I could definitely use one of these. These children run through clothes all the time, making them dirty. How much does something like this cost?
Why, just 50 gold. Normally they're closer to 100 if you go to some sleazy salesman in the city, but I'm trying to help out, small town people out here in 10 towns, try to reach out, branch out to people who need help,
Oh, well, now that I'm looking after these children, I could definitely use something like this. Yeah, sure. I'll be back in just a second. And you see him leave the room. Goes through a door. And as he's gone, the are you still looking like an old man, Akuma, or is that disguise down?
The disguise is down, I believe, because
Okay.
I said when I walked outside, I took it off.
One of the little kids, little boy, comes up and he's got a wooden figure of a deer, and he points up at you, up at your antlers, and says, "Deer, deer," and then he holds up the figure that obviously has antlers as well.
I love it.
Very good, buddy. You're catching on quick.
Do you want to touch him?
His eyes get real wide, and he nods. Yeah.
God, I'll bend over for the kid.
Okay. He reaches up ever so slowly, and as soon as he touches them, he backs his hand off real quick and then just runs away back into the corner like he's scared. And sorry, what was that?
Oh no. I was going. I was just gonna say, if in Akuma's mind, he's probably like, "Then why the fuck did you want to touch him?"
He's just a little kid. He doesn't know what's happening. He's not seen that before.
It's cute when he does it, Gigroth.
Aw.
Don't be mean to the kid, Gigaroth. We're trying to make a sale here. Or wait, is that what we were doing?
And then the old man comes back and he's got a little leather pouch. You said 50 gold?
50 is the price.
Okay, well,
Say, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do around town, like for work, before you were, taking care of the kids full time?
well, I'm I used to be a fisherman. I used to fish the lake, but kids' parents up and left me to look after them. So here I am, I guess, retired. And he opens up this little leather pouch, pulls out gold, some larger gold pieces, and hands the equivalent of 50 gold in coins over to you.
While this is going on, I'd like to lean over to Gigroth and whisper for him to have Sebastian go off on a scouting mission to see if he can identify any kind of paperwork or funds or something that may give us a little bit of insight to what old man's got going on.
Okay, so we're assuming then that you guys picked up Sebastian on your way back through, in Targos.
Oh no, that's right. We were leaving him to spy on her, right?
Yes.
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind. I don't know.
That
Yeah,
actually
Gigroth, I don't know if you want to try to find any animals in the house.
I was gonna do that. I was gonna ask, could I do like maybe a perception check or maybe like a nature check to see if I could hear or maybe sense any like small mice or like a rat or something in the house?
Yeah, you can. You can make a perception check there.
All right, let's see. Ooh, nat
Yeah. So as you're kind of looking around, you can see a small hole along the base of this room that would be like a mouse hole, and you can definitely sense the presence of at least one mouse.
I'm gonna take a little. I'm just gonna say to the old man, is it alright if I could take a seat over there by the wall? I'm just so tired, lugging all this heavy equipment around.
Oh, sure. Please have a seat.
And so I'll go over to the hole. I take out like a little morsel of food, place it right there by the hole. I'm hoping that the mice comes out,
Yeah, you
or the
little mouse comes up, backs off a little bit, scooches forward, and takes the little bit of rations that you took off, pinched off for him, and starts eating it.
and then I'll start a conversation with the little mouse. I was like, "Hey there, buddy, could you do something for big old Gig Rough?"
Hmm, 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 hmm. It acknowledges you. Yeah, it can understand you.
I'll give you more food than you can have. I'll give you as much food as you want if you can sneak around the house and find me any hidden rooms or anything weird looking. Maybe some papers or whatnot.
Okay. Um, I mean, sure, yeah. Mouse takes the food, and you can see it scurry kind of back in the hole and through the walls.
Awesome.
Okay. Back to interaction with the old man. So yeah, he gives you
Yeah,
the
I guess
50 gold.
I'll take the 50 gold and I'll hand him the pot. And as I do that, I say, oh, I kind of like reach to my stomach and I say, oh, do you mind if I use the bathroom? I just kind of feeling a rough situation here.
Oh, sure. It's down the hall and to the right, and tells you the direction where the bathroom is.
Okay. You guys just wait here and I'll head down the hall towards the bathroom. Am I sort of out of sight from them now?
Yeah, when you get to the bathroom and you can shut the door.
Okay, I was just curious. Are there any other rooms around the bathroom?
So you get through this room, and then there's the bathroom to the right, and then there's two rooms beyond the bathroom.
Would I still be in sight of them if I tried to like go check in on one of the rooms by the bat? You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the room past the bathroom.
Okay, on the same side, on the right side.
Sure.
Yep. It's a bedroom. Typical bedroom amenities.
Is it like an adult's bedroom or a kid's bedroom?
It is an adult's bedroom.
Okay. Do they see me from where they're at?
Make me a stealth check, and I will
Okay.
make a perception check.
That 20, baby.
Oh yeah, he does not see you.
Okay, I'm gonna go into that room and shut the door behind me.
Okay.
And I kind of, while I'm in there, I just kind of
Oh.
want to look around to see if there's any like documents or any information I can find. Like, is there a desk maybe?
There is a small table, like a small work table. It's not a full desk. There's seemingly clothing for. Let's do this. Make me an investigation check as you're
Okay.
checking this place out.
15.
15. Okay, so you can determine that there's clothing for 3 different individuals. A female and two males. There's less clothing for the female and a male, and then a smaller human or a smaller male clothing is what's most abundant in there.
And do I find any like documents or any information? Nothing like that.
Nothing like that. You find like some
Okay.
books, like some novels, some fictional novels. No like information or anything.
What kind of novels is he reading? Is he into like Hunger Games or what's he into?
He's into mysteries.
Mystery novels? Oh, okay. If that's the case,
Can
then I
I-
guess I'll just go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying, and then I'll.
No, go ahead with
What I
your
was gonna-
thing.
Okay. No, I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, can I knock on the wood and have the mouse kind of like start scurrying back to me?
You can knock, but the mouse is sent on a mission. He will get back to you.
Oh, okay. No, it's because I
Unless you
forgot to
wanna, like-
cast Beast Sense on it.
Okay. Akuma, Zymot, Gigroth, you guys are just like sitting awkwardly in silence with this old man in this
no,
room.
actually, I would like to. Forgive me if I am intruding, but in my hometown, the family is one of the most important circles one can be a part of. I find it a little strange that the little one's parents just simply up and left. Was there a reason?
Well, they are they worked as couriers along the roads here, and as they were coming back from the east, each of them had found an amulet of some sort, of a dark stone, dark crystal. These dark crystal amulets, and after a few days, they said that they were called to. They were called away to Caer Dineval.
And forgive me, the name does not sound familiar. Is Caer Dineval a particular place, a city, a temple?
You know it as one of the towns in 10 towns.
I understand.
But he says, yeah, he relays that. Yes, it's one of the towns here in 10 towns. To the north of East Haven.
Is there anything in particular that happens there in Carnival? For example, Good Mead is known for their mead, and Torgos, believe, is the fishing town. So, is there anything in particular about Caer Dineval?
Well, there is the castle there is the main site. People visit it as almost a tourist attraction.
But there is nothing in particular that maybe could be associated with said. I believe you said crystals that they were found.
I've never seen them before, but my daughter and her husband both said that the crystals called them to that city.
Were they acting strange? Anything different than their normal mannerisms, or did they see him in their right mind?
More hostile than usual towards me and the children.
You mentioned they came from the east. Do you remember where their point of origin was?
Where his
Where they found
daughter,
said gems.
like where they
Yes,
came from?
where they came from, where they got the gems from.
They I assume picked him up somewhere along the road, maybe in another city. I don't know where. Definitely not here in Bryn Shander.
Ah, yes. And I forgive me for eavesdropping a little bit, but you mentioned prior to your retirement, you were simply a fisherman for the town?
That's correct.
Oh, it seems many of the town people know you, and I thought maybe there might be some additional significance to your life here.
No, not particularly. I made my living as a fisherman, and suppose I would still be doing that if I didn't have to look after these youngsters.
Actually, ironic. We were Did you ever come have a run-in with the serpent of what's the name of the lake? Marduan Lake. Here, Mardualan, right? Dugalan? Like
Mayor Duwalden.
Yes,
Mayor
the serpent, the giant serpent there. Did you ever have any run-ins with it?
I've heard stories since moving here to Bryn Shander, but I've not had run-ins myself.
Ah, very well.
Although I've seen some large knucklehead trout in my days.
Is there anything special about the knucklehead trout, or is it simply just the native fish? Marine life.
Just the native fish. They grow fairly large. My friend, have you seen Old Bitey up at the Northlook Tavern?
Yes, right? It was the big fish you
Yep.
mentioned?
A friend of mine is actually who hauled that in.
Oh, no kidding. That is quite impressive. It is quite the haul. Did he do it alone?
Yes, a feat, quite the fishing feat, if you ask me.
I agree with you. That was quite impressive. I've never seen a fish so large caught naturally like that. That was quite impressive. And I'll just continue chit-chatting until the rest of the crew comes
Okay.
back. Or
Akuma, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, so while we're kind of sitting here and Zyma and Finny are talking, are there any pictures or anything on the wall?
There is some decoration, some decorations that depict antlers and deer. And then there are some. Let's see here. How would this work? Yeah, you can find on one of the end tables a framed family picture of 5 individuals.
And like, how long ago does this picture look like it was taken based on Finny?
About a year ago, year to 2 years. There's not noticeable difference, but the kids are babies in the picture.
Hmm. And there's like, nothing from the picture of like comparing Finny. There's nothing like subtle differences or anything that stands out.
No, nothing that would stand out. And he sees you kind of looking around and perusing, and he sees you looking at the picture and says, "Ah, yes, that is my daughter and her husband. I don't know what I'd do if I don't know what I'd do if something bad happened to them. But even more so, those 2 youngsters there, if something happened to them, or something happened to me, and no one was available to look after them, I don't know what I would do."
What do you think would happen to you? I mean, you're retired. You're here at home.
Oh, just
pretty
if
safe, right?
I am, but if I were to, I'm getting up there in old age. If I get caught in a storm or something outside and something were to happen to me, it just would leave these children with no one to look after them.
yeah, I'd like to signal to you guys like kind of think I have something going. None of you guys have message, right?
I have message.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. All right. I'll give you the signal for message. Like,
What you
scratch my
thinking?
temple. I believe this man might actually just be a victim of circumstance. There could be a chance that he is simply attempting to dodge a raffle to maintain a caretaker for his children.
I think at this point it's pretty safe to ask him about it. Tactfully, not just like, "Hey, why'd you pay off that guy?"
Gigroth,
Very
you
well.
can hear in the walls. You can hear like some scurrying in the walls.
Yes, my little companion.
And Mouse brings back a small piece of paper about the size of an index card.
Interesting. I'm going to give it like I'm just gonna start ripping a bunch of pieces of stuffing it in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
He gives me the and then I'm gonna take the index and kind of like hide it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna make my way to the. I'm just say, excuse me, Mister Finney, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. What? Yes.
Might I use the little boys' room? I've got you release some liquid.
Oh well, that you may, but the pointy-eared fellow has been in there for some time.
Oh well, then I'll just go outside.
Okay. Cyrus, what are you doing?
At this point, I think I walk back out of the out of the room and you know what I'm gonna do. And I was thinking about doing this before the conversation. I'm gonna leave the 50 gold like on the table, and then just walk back out.
Okay. He's
And,
I take it on.
got a change of conscience, change of heart with this man.
Look, it's just this like poor old man living with like taking care of two kids. His like or his two grandkids, and like his actual kids are gone from his life. Like
Worst
I'm
comment.
a swindler, but I'm not a complete piece of shit.
Well, just hold off on that because I was actually thinking if this guy is telling you the truth, I was just gonna like, hey man, we were just trying to get information out of you, and I was gonna say, hey, Cyrus, give him his gold back, and if you want, keep the pot. But I was gonna read that index card first.
Mm-hmm.
So
See what it says.
I don't disagree with that line of thought, but I'm just gonna say Cyrus is kind of going through this as he's like looking through and like not finding any information about the Zentarum, and he's like, this might just be like some old man who has nothing to do with like this and just like a victim maybe of circumstance or by accident. And I
Right.
just kind of felt bad, so I'm just gonna do that because I think that's what I would do in the situation, or Cyrus would do at
Gotcha.
least.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
I'll head back into the room with Finney and the rest of the crew, and I'll say, "Oh, thank you so much. You have no idea how badly I needed that."
Oh yes.
Well,
sure.
I thank you so
Oh,
much for
well.
your time. I shake his hand and just say, "Thank you so much for your time," and I was glad to maybe help you out today with the sale. Are you fellas, all good to go? Where'd Gigroth go?
So
He had
Gi-
to use the
I'm
facilities.
thinking as I'm walking out, like you walked out of the room, the restroom seemed like oh, he just finished. Like, oh, okay, great. Now I can go into the restroom real quick.
All right, that works. I mean,
Okay.
oh, you're right there. How did I not see you? You're so tall.
so Gigroth, you're going to the bathroom or you're going outside?
So I'm thinking that as I'm leaving out to you to take a leak outside,
Mm-hmm.
Cyrus just happens to walk out of the restroom. He's like, oh, well, he's done. Let me go walk into that restroom.
Okay. And you want to check out this little index card?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of like coated. It's like old. The edges are worn and starting to fray. There's like a thin layer of like flour on it. And it is a card on the top. It says family secret recipe for baked knucklehead trout. And then there's a recipe for baked knucklehead trout on it.
He was so excited when he talked about knucklehead trout before. What if he forgets the
Gonna
recipe,
find-
Gigroth?
I'm gonna find that mouse and step on it.
Dude, they're mouse. They're like stupid. They're not exactly the most intelligent. Not everyone has like something to hide. Not everyone's super
I mean,
shady.
But then again, he brought me a knucklehead trout recipe. I'm gonna jot it down in hopes that I can recreate it, and maybe we can make our own knucklehead trout. Like maybe some knucklehead trout sandwiches.
All
That's
right,
our
so-
next mission. Fuck all this shit with the Frostmaiden. We're making knucklehead trout.
And now I can say, hey, do you want a knuckle sandwich? Excuse me? Yeah, do you want a knucklehead sandwich? It's a knucklehead trout.
And
It's a sandwich.
All right.
Just Gear Grump.
So
Okay.
that's anything. Is that it with this guy?
I'm just gonna leave that piece of index. I'm gonna leave that index card. Like, try to like, I don't know, leave it in his room or leave it in the bathroom. Something.
Okay.
I don't know where that fucking mouse got it.
On before like as we're kind of like all getting around to like walk out the door doing our Midwest goodbyes, I'm going to ask him like, so is the lottery something you're concerned about?
Most definitely. Everyone here has an equal chance to be selected for a sacrifice upon the new moon. I am no different, such just as any adult in this town is. Um, Absolutely, I'm concerned.
And who organizes the lottery?
Oh, the speaker, Speaker Duvessa Shane. She does.
Could you repeat that name, please?
Yep, Duvessa Shane. Duvessa is her first name,
Shane. Okay.
and then Shane is her last name.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your hospitality today here, Finney, but do you know why we would have found a man who was looking for you in Targos for paying off and removing your name
His
from the
eyes
lottery?
his eyes get wide. Oh dear. I don't know. He says, I must confess, I did do that. I did pay to be removed from the lottery for their sake," and he gestures towards the kids. "I don't know why anyone would be after me, though." And you can definitely see like a fear in his eyes and a fear in his face.
Well, we took care of that man for you, but I would appreciate it if you told us who you're paying off to have your name removed from the lottery.
Well, I paid Speaker Duvessa Shane directly.
Geargrub's gonna walk out of the restroom and like act like he didn't hear the conversation, but he did. What you guys talking about?
Do you know where we
Everyone
can
just kind of
find the
gives you a
speaker?
stink eye.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kokomo.
Finney, do you know where we could find the speaker?
Let's see here. You can find her at the town hall.
And just for curiosity's sake, how much did she make you pay to have your name removed?
She didn't say. She didn't tell me. I made an offer of 20 gold. It's what I could spare, and she accepted it.
Was this the first time you've done this?
It is, yes. I felt the need to do it after their parents went missing, after they left.
I understand, Finney. Well, thank you for your candor.
Well, thank you. Please, if you don't mind, this is between us, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. So he
And,
thanks. Yeah.
Hearing Finney saying that he did pay because of his grandchildren, I feel like so what Geargroth's gonna do is he's gonna reach into his money pouch and he's gonna give him 20 gold back.
Oh, what's this for?
You you listen to me, old man. You you take damn well care of these.
I picture Gigroth has this like totally mean demeanor. He means perfectly well. You take damn good care of these kids, and like you're it's like very very genuine and heartfelt, but it comes across as like I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't take care of these kids, sort of thing. Oh,
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit, kind of like that.
yeah, I will, you, I will of course do that.
And then Gearcross is just gonna give this old man a hug. Like one tear falls down his face. You're a good man.
Oh, okay. This giant of a man that he just met that sold him a magical pot, helped sell him a magical pot, just gives him a hug. He doesn't know what to think, but he's kind of rolling with it. Oh, okay, I guess.
You relocate his spine, like when you hug him. It's just like, oh, that feels so much better.
Yes. Okay.
Are you a masseuse?
Chiropractor, huh? All right.
I've
Okay.
had practice on. I've had a practice on Cyrus.
All right. Anything else you want to do here? Seems you got your information. I don't want to stop you if there is something.
I'm good.
Yes, I'm about to get as well.
Yeah, I am too.
All right. Oh, I can't wait to put this pot to good use. And you guys leave and yeah, move on with whatever you want to do.
I feel like we should tell him.
He'll figure it out. He's a smart man.
We've made our bed. Let's sleep in it. All right, so we've identified. So now we can say that not everyone that's paying off deserves to die or is evil. Do we want to follow this lead and talk to Duduvessa Shane
Yeah,
and
I
find
think
out if
maybe
this
we
is
could
just
go-
political corruption or if this is the Zentarum?
Yeah, we could probably go back to Trollbane and figure out when this Duvessa came into power.
Right.
Okay. And then also, I'm interested in these dark crystals. Is anyone else intrigued by that, or is that side quest time we'll put in the back burner?
I am also interested in that. Because why would two parents kids because of two dark crystals? So I think that might have to do with either Aro or the.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in them in as well. But I think if I was looking at the map, so Caer Dineval, so East Haven is where our next target is at. And then
Yeah, so the road from Bryn Shander, if you look on the map, and I will bring this up as well. If you look on the map, the road heads east of Bryn Shander, and then it kind of forks off, where you can into three directions. You can go north along the lake up to Caer Dineval. You can continue heading east to East Haven, or you can turn south to Goodmead. And
Like I just wonder. I wonder if this is the reason why the Zentarum are up here and why it's benefiting them for the trade routes to be shut down. You know what I mean?
yeah, that definitely I understand why that would pique Zymot's interest.
But I'm also once again okay taking care of the 50-meter target and acquiring this Duvessa and slowly start to piece together what this map of evil looks like.
If we could go back to the tavern, I think, and find Trollbane, and just in passing, ask her briefly how long Duves has been in power here,
Yeah.
and Do we actually know the exact length that the amount of time the sacrifices have been happening? I don't know if I've asked that.
Every once a month, and I
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
the last one or the next one is 19, 18, 17 days now.
Yep. Every new moon.
Correct, but how long have they been happening?
Oh, how long has the Icewind Maiden been here?
Yeah, so for the last year or so.
Okay.
For the last year, Icewind Dale's been under the Frostmaiden spell, so to speak.
Okay, so for a year, and conveniently, that's when Nerth came into power, was about a year ago as well. So Frostmaiden comes into town, Nerth come into town.
It makes you wonder if he's connected to the Frostmaiden or if he's just opportunistic.
Yeah.
Could be
Yeah.
both.
Well, that's going to be part of our issue, kind of trying to piece this together. We also probably have to start identifying a hierarchy in the Zentarum to see if we're going after someone relevant or a foot soldier. You know what I mean? Because once again, the tiefling was responsible for keeping old boy's name out of the raffle, but he received a letter from the guy that paid him off. You get what I'm saying? So I think we definitely have to try to establish what this network looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to go to the tavern, inquire there before we head out to see Duvessa.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying we need to speak to Duvessa right now, because I mean, we're probably not a good idea to just walk up to the speaker of Bryn Shander and be like, "Hey, so you're accepting bribes and getting people out of the lottery, and we think you're working with a Zentarum."
Well, I mean, what about potentially doing that? Being much like we were going to try to volunteer to join the militia. What if we're like, hey, we're new people in town, we want to set up business, but this whole being sacrificed thing doesn't appeal to us. So do you know how maybe we can smooch it over a little bit and see what she says? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
like that.
definitely
I
like
like that
that
plan.
angle. The whole like, hey, we're looking, Ack Inc. We're trying to set up business here, but we don't like the idea of having our people sacrificed. What's the incentive?
Yeah, we can even just completely be like, hey, look, does it count towards new residents and visitors and negotiating people? Like, how does that work? And then maybe she might volunteer. Well, you know what I mean? And then that way it doesn't look too suspicious if she's the one that's volunteering the information.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Sweet. So you want to take point in the tavern then?
Or to the Trollbane?
Yeah, we're going back to talk to Trollbane first.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, so you travel along the northern border, up from near the House of the Morning Lord, all the way over to the Northlook Inn and Tavern, and you are able to find Trollbane there. And she says, "Oh, again, back so soon? I expected you off somewhere else."
We just have a few more questions that have come up over the day.
Mm-hmm. Shoot.
So the speaker here, Duvessa,
Mhm.
when did she come into power?
She's been speaker as long as I've been here, so it's quite some time. Which is remarkable for someone her age. She's relatively young. But she
Relatively?
seems like a good leader and has been leader here ever since.
How did she acquire her status? Was it through relative means or her being young? I'm assuming she had a leg up in the office, no?
Trollbane says she's a very likable person, seems to generally have the town's best interest at hand. That was enough for the town of Bryn Shander to elect her, I presume. Again, it was before my time, so I don't know specifics of her election. But as long as I've been here, she's been good to the town, always fighting for their well-being.
And do you know her personal stance on the Frostmaiden?
Well, she's
her
definitely
public stand.
for the human sacrifices here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing them. She felt that being the most direct or the most severe of sacrifices would appease her the most. I don't think she particularly enjoys having to send someone to their death, but here we are.
And what is the popul? I was gonna ask what's the population
Of
Bryn
Bryn Shander?
Shander?
1,200.
Okay.
You mentioned that she is likable and very considerate. Is she trustworthy? Does she seem honorable?
I would trust her more than most individuals. Yes.
Do you think it would be too much to ask for us to acquire a audience with her, as we are looking at potentially franchising out here in the 10 towns and would like to get some kind of government approval beforehand?
If you are looking to set up shop out here, having her blessing would be beneficial to you. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. I don't know. Do you guys got anything else?
I'm good.
Nope.
Or I thought there was something else you wanted to ask, Akuma. Was that it?
We
Again,
asked
you mentioned
about.
coming back to talk to her at some point about something. No.
I
Okay,
thought
maybe.
this was it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yep. All right. Well, then, yeah. If we're good, I think we're good to make way over to talk to Speaker Duvessa.
You're gonna go to the town hall and
Yeah.
speak with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Akuma or Cyrus? Which one of you guys don't want to take point?
I think I'll let Akuma take the lead on this one, and I'll just kind of be there to like offer advantage on any,
Okay.
if anything serious comes up.
All right, and that works because you know about the whole hack ink anyway, so I'll just back you up as well if need be. I just rather have someone with a decent charisma score do the talking.
Right.
I think he knows the right
Gigroth will
questions
just
to ask here.
Yeah.
Gigroth will just be in the back twiddling his thumbs.
See if you can get a hold of any. Are there any birds in Icewind Dale, Nick? I know it's unbelievably cold and stuff. Is it all like fur animals?
Mostly
snakes?
all fur animals. There hasn't really been signs of birds. I don't.
Are the messenger snake serpents local?
Oh, are they native to
Yeah.
Icewind Dale? Make me a history check.
I can tell you, Zymot, from my knowledge, that they are not. They are jungle based, and they are brought here as messengers by
Cool.
wealthy people.
Yep. So they are not a native species to Icewind Dale.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all I got. So if you guys are good, we'll make our way over there.
Do it.
Do it, do it.
Okay. All right. So you make your way over to the town hall. I don't remember if that's up in the map at all. House of the Moon, Northlook, Stables, South Council Hall. Okay, so on the south side of Bryn Shander.
On the way there, could Gigroth find like a little mouse?
You want to find a little critter? Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a little mouse, like a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
You're gonna name him Little Critter.
Little critter. Yep. Name him Little Critter. I'm gonna tell him, hey, little buddy, do a little something, something for me, and I will reward you with a full belly.
Okay. Yeah.
Better only roll 20s.
And then I'm going to pass mouse off to uh Cyrus, or either Akuma or Cyrus, and I'm also going to tell him, look, I just want him to like kind of um, like a run around, like be unnoticed, and I'm also going to cast Beast Sense so I can hear and see everything that the mouse sees.
What is the range on Beast Sense?
Let me check. Beast Sense. There's not really a range. The casting time is 10 minutes. Range area is touch. Components is um somatic. The duration is concentration up to 1 hour.
Okay. So you can see through the beast's eyes and hear range area touch for 1 hour, and hear what it hears and continue to do so until you use your action to return to your normal senses. Okay, so essentially what this is doing is making it so you basically relinquish your senses and kind of take over the senses of this animal. So it's not like something that you can go about your daily life and also see through see through this beast.
Right. Because me and Zymont, we're waiting outside, right? Or we're not going along with them, correctly?
I'm gonna go with them because I'm part of the acting thing.
Oh, okay. Well, we can like I can post myself up somewhere, and like close by, and like kind of use the mouse to like scurry around, see if there's anything that I can find, see or hear, things of that nature. Because it's kind of hard for like a big guy like me to be sneaky. So you could probably post Gigroth up somewhere like outside and kind of like covering him with snow.
Okay. So, and what's your purpose with this mouse? What do you want to do with it?
There's an office there. Maybe that I can find. Maybe I can find some documentation of some like maybe other names, people that are being paid off, and any kind of information that would be useful to us. And being that it's a mouse, they rarely get noticed.
Sure. So the speak with animals, you're limited to the intelligence of the creature. I don't think that a mouse is going to be able to communicate like secrets or be able to find something specific. If you're like, go find me a file on whatever and bring it to me if it's got information that we want. You say to a mouse, go find a piece of paper and bring it back to me. That's probably about the limit of a mouse's intelligence. So I don't think speak with animals is going to have the desired effect that you want.
Okay. Well, I was hoping to use speak with animals to have it just like go check rooms randomly, and hopefully like it'll come across like different documentations while I'm using B sense.
Oh,
If I
okay.
can get a glance, I can get a glance of certain documents of that nature.
Okay, so as it's just going room to room, you're hoping that it will. Is there something specific you're looking for in documents?
Well, like I said, maybe like there's a list of names of people who have been paying off to not be in the raffle. Maybe we could speak with them, or like other people like in chain, like how we were trying to see if maybe there's a system of
Okay.
the mafia. Just anything that we could use and that'll be beneficial for us to know.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can do that. All right, so you guys make your way over to, and I'm mistaken. The town hall is in the very center of the town, and you can go in. You can go in the town hall. There's a clerk there who asks what you would like, what you're here for.
Hey, we were wondering who we need to talk to about a business venture we have with Ack Inc.
Oh well, the speaker would that would be the speaker of this town, Duvessa Shane. Let me go get her real quick.
Thank you.
She gets up and turns around, walks down a hallway into a room, comes out. She'll be right with you. And after a few moments, this woman, very, very well dressed, like very business professional, comes out and meets you.
Hello, speaker.
Yes, and you're from Acquisitions Incorporated?
We are representatives, yes.
Oh, I'm. Please, come in. Your reputation precedes you. It's wonderful to have a business of your stature or representatives here in Icewind Dale. Although I'm confused as to why. But please, come in. And she follows you and kind of leads you back to an office. Her office. She's behind a desk. She's sitting there. She's got chairs and a couch that you can sit on.
I'll use message as we're walking back, and I'll ask Zyma, are we using our names or should we use aliases?
Considering the fact that this is an actual official, I think we can go ahead and use our correct names to potentially set up proper negotiations if need be, or if she decides to check back in with the actual headquarters.
Correct. Cool.
I mean, if it turns out that she is corrupt, then she may not be around much longer, and it does not matter.
Noted.
Okay. Gigroth, with your speak with animals and your beast sense, you are I guess, when are you going to use your beast sense? When you're sitting there with everyone? Because like I said, your beast sense, you kind of just like eyes go white, roll back, and you kind of like go into this trance that allows you to now see through this beast's eyes.
Well, what my idea was Gigroth was going to be left outside and his body was going to be hidden, like covered in like a blanket and then snow.
So you're not going in with them. You're going to stay outside.
Right. So I'm just going to be like
Gigroth is standing outside and we just throw a blanket or a tarp like a statue, but it's so like obvious and everyone is
and people walking by and seeing this Goliath in the middle of this trance.
Well, I was thinking like he was gonna be laying on the ground, wrapped in a blanket, and then just like covered with snow. So all it just looks like is like snow piled up in just one area. And then like 10 minutes prior, and then I got my mouse and I got the beast sense and everything, and he's like in Cyrus's pocket. And then my imagination would be like how kids, they like see this gigantic piece of like this gigantic little hill of snow, and they'll just like start jumping on it and shit, and like just like trying to like make the snow fall into each other until it collapses in, and all they feel is like Gigroth there. It's like this is some really compact snow.
Okay, so all right, so you're gonna be outside. You go into beast sense mode. And there, you now control a little mouse that is scurrying around the walls of the town hall. The rest of you are in a meeting with Duvessa Shane. And let's stop there for the night. It's we've been going, let's see, about another hour and a half. So that's going to be where we stop for the night. And when we pick this back up next week, you will be in the meeting with Duvessa Shane. But that's not what we're not done for the night. We got Crit Chat coming up. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. And if you have if anyone in the chat has questions for the group, anyone has anything they want to discuss or ask the group, now's the time to get those ready. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching. All right, thanks for sticking around, everyone. Really, really appreciate it. So no combat again tonight, guys. But still, nonetheless, I still feel like a lot happened in this session.
Yeah, it's been pretty dense with like content and like things happening. I feel like we covered a lot of ground in this session.
Yeah, followed up on some leads that you got in the last session, and even uncovered more breadcrumbs, more trails that lead to other things happening, and starting to get a little bit more full picture of what's actually happening around in 10 Towns.
Yeah, that's actually a good solid point that you said. Just a better understanding of the bigger picture. Yeah, I feel like there's so much going on right now, and we're so on the outside of it that it's hard to identify a trail to follow. But I think we're finally starting to get some traction with tracking down the people that were on the hit list, and then obviously, hopefully, next episode we'll get a lot of information. Actually, talking to Duvasa if she is one that's supposed to, if we manage to divulge information from her or not.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys like, or what was your favorite thing about this session with regards to? Well, I guess I'll start here. Cyrus, I'm sorry for I don't know, spilling the beans with your character, so to speak.
Yeah, was that supposed to be delayed, I guess? I mean, like
So the spoiler message I sent you was what was on the note, okay? And I
Okay.
assumed that you would have been the one that uncovered it. It just didn't kind of come out that way, but it just fit so perfect and naturally with where you were at in the story. I was not expecting the Zentarum cover up to appear this early in the storyline, in the campaign. It's just kind of that's how things worked out with regards to the directions and the trails that you guys were following.
yeah, it was definitely pretty alarming. I'm like, oh, okay, the secret is coming out, this early. That's yeah, that was my secret, was the whole thing with the the hit on me from the Zentarum. Yeah, it was kind of funny that just for that to just like happen just like so casually, and then just like immediately I'm just grilled by the rest of the party just because why wouldn't they? Like that's exactly what happened. The super shady, like, oh, this elf we met yesterday, there's a hit out with a description that fits him. Like, yeah, that's, I don't know, I thought it was funny.
I mean, at least it's like someone. At least it's a group that we're not automatically just gonna be like, yeah, they seem legit. So that at least goes in your favor, right? It could have easily been like if it was the law enforcement that had a hit on you, then maybe that would have been a little more likely for us to be like, oh, well, yeah, we're gonna turn you in.
Yeah. By the way, thanks guys for not turning me into the Xantarum for whatever was the bounty on me.
I mean, we haven't ruled out using you as bait yet. So I mean, there's that.
I am the master baiter.
Wait, you're opening a fish shop on the lake? Is that what's happening?
Me and old Finny boy, we're gonna open up a bait shop. We're gonna call it Two Masturbators.
There you go. That's your business adventure for Ack Inc. is opening up a bait shop.
It's gonna be
I
two
hope
guys
you're still
holding
watching.
hooks.
Geek Girl's just gonna go out there like, do you want a knuckle sandwich? Do you want a knuckle sandwich? Do you want a knuckle sandwich?
Calm down, Oprah.
Nice.
All right.
But yeah, I agree with Jedi on this. That like I feel like we finally have a stronger lead for where to go. Definitely, the last couple of sessions have been a little bit overwhelming because there's so much information that every role play scenario we're just kind of like trying to find like bait. We're trying to find anything that's like a lead into something for us to like really focus on that we as a group want to tackle. And I feel like Duvessa, with like the whole situation with the people like skipping out on the lottery, it feels like there's a lot going on there, and we actually have like a direction to follow there. So it feels as nice as the open world thing is to like give us options and freedom to do what we want. it feels nice to actually have like a that's the thing right there we want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and any one of these at any point can be that thing. If you if you decided that the lake monster, yep, that's the thing that we want to do, and where that leads, you can do that. Yep, those crystal amulets. What the heck's going on with those? That's the lead we want to follow. We want to go do that. This Verbeeg that killed the guy from Goodmead and their stolen casks of mead. We want to go get those back. That's the lead we want to follow. Like any one of these things can be that direction.
Yeah, shoot, I just lost my train of thought. You had said something now and it made sense to me and I forgot it while I was letting you talk. Never mind.
It's gone.
It'll come back to me. It's totally something. Now I don't remember. Oh yeah, it just the fact is it kind of like semi-suspicious to anyone that, and it may work for her, but the fact that it was what 20, 30 gold that old boy had to pay for her to keep his name out of the raffle.
Oh yeah, that seems super
Yeah,
low.
20 gold.
Yeah, right. Is it just me or does that seem low?
That
That's kind of like
does
my
seem low.
inkling. Yeah, my inkling right now is that like it's got nothing at all. Like she's not related to what's happening over in Targos. That it was one of those circumstance things where somebody's
Mhm.
offering me gold, I can make some side cash. Who knows if the guy's name even got pulled out of the lottery or if she just was like, oh yeah, 20 gold, sure, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the poor man's name could still be in the lottery for the next tax.
Yeah, yeah. If he
Yeah.
does get pulled for the lottery, what is he going to be? No, don't worry, guys. I paid to get my name withdrawn from it, so it's cool. I can't actually get killed here. And then yeah, that doesn't go well for him either. He's fucked if anything happens. It's a really good scheme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, or like what happens if his name doesn't get pulled, or his name doesn't get pulled from the library, and he's the one that gets selected, and then he just lets out this huge scam or this huge scandal. Oh my gosh, the keeper took a bribe from me. What's gonna happen then? So like, there's a lot of potential scenarios that happen there.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Like
interesting.
this.
I think we're gonna find out a decent amount of information, or potentially. I mean, she could easily not say anything, but I think this is the start where we once again we really start to get our traction on how to uncover things and find out what falls under Zentarum, what falls under the Ice Maiden, what falls under just the standard workings of a medieval city in 10 towns.
Yep. Yep. Does anyone have any questions? Either you, the group, or anyone in chat. If you do, now is the time to ask. And if not, I think that about does it. I don't really have anything. I think everything was pretty much uncovered that we want to. So what are your guys' plans on kind of like where to take? I mean, obviously a lot's going to depend on what you talk with Duvessa about.
Yeah, maybe she'll reveal one of your guys' secrets.
Are you pissed at me? Are you mad? Are you mad?
I'm not mad at you at all, dude. That's just the way the campaign worked. I mean, like, how are you to expect the exact way that we found that note? I'm just gonna give it shit.
Like, I didn't mean for anything to like come out this. It was just fit so perfectly and so naturally with this plot that you uncovered with the Zentarum. So
no, it totally works, and it's a cool fit because it sort of gives Cyrus like a bit of like actual tie to what's going on, opposed to just sort of being, typical grifter randomly, passing from town to town. Oh, there's like an actual weight and kind of an attachment for Cyrus now, as opposed to just kind of being here like a viewer almost.
sure.
So I gotta ask you, Joel. So how did you picture Cyrus's secret coming out? Like, if this wasn't it, what did you envision?
I honestly envisioned at some point in the campaign, I assumed a little further down the line, just like, honestly, we're just going to get confronted and we're going to have like a fight encounter with the Zentarum, trying to kill us. And you guys wouldn't know exactly why. You're just like, oh, the Zentarum, these guys trying to fuck us up. Let's fight it out. And then afterwards, it would sort of just come out.
Oh, like a random assassin just tries to kill you. Why is this happening?
Just
Yeah.
like, oh man, guys, we should all fuck this guy up, man. He's an asshole.
That's fair. That's fair.
If we survive the encounter,
Yeah.
we might just throw you to the wolves so we survive. Be like, dude, they're kicking our butts, man. We need to figure out what's going on. They're like, we just came for him. Be like, have him. Like, re-roll a new character. We'll see you on the other side of the campaign.
We needed a cleric. Joke's on you.
You know what? I would just to spite you guys. I would be a fighter, so we'd have a third melee fighter.
Oh.
That's pretty cool working though, Nick. That's pretty cool.
Well, thanks. Thanks. I sincerely hope I didn't make you mad, Joel.
No, you did not make me mad, Nick. I think this is you know what? This is a good kind of like starting point for like the secrets to occur. I didn't know how or like how heavily tied the secrets were to like come in, whether it was possible for the secrets to be not revealed at all during the campaign, that sort of thing. So I was it was good.
It's definitely possible for secrets to not be revealed. Yours just happened to be perfect for given what was happening in the story here. So, and yeah, what?
We all need secrets. I thought it was optional.
You all have a secret. Don't try to hide it. Well, or hide it because it is a secret, and that's what you want to do.
Secret is that he doesn't have a secret at all. That's a secret.
The secret is I'm gonna reveal.
Don't hide your secret. Like, isn't that the whole nature of a secret?
Don't worry, don't worry, Jedi. Because in all honesty, my secret isn't really so much of a secret, but I honestly don't see it coming out at any point in this campaign, unless for some random reason that it happens to come out, because it's more of like a perk than it is a secret.
Well, Nick, you actually did a pretty good job on that because I think you just kind of took the characters that we were building and then suggested one or two secrets to us, right? So it wasn't like we saw the list of all the secrets and got to pick one, if I'm correct.
No, and I did that. I did it that way on purpose because when your secret is like tied to your character or fits much more naturally, I think it just fits with the storyline a lot better and kind of gives each of you more of a reason to interact with Icewind Dale, more reasons to be there, more reasons to connect you to the plots and connect you to the overall story. And all of you are connected in very different ways. Very, very different ways with as far as your secrets go. Now you're all thinking, what the hell is everyone else's secret? I want to know.
Honestly, I'm just curious when mine comes up. That's like now like seeing what you did with Cyrus's secret. Now I'm curious to see how you work Akuma's in. That's where my head's at.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
You're just gonna force his hand. You're like, I'm in control of my own destiny.
I just I like mine. I love mine because it fits so well with Gigroth's. But like I was saying earlier, his secret is so situational. Like, I don't know, is there a way to incorporate his secret into the campaign like you did with Cyrus?
I guess you'll just have to wait and find out. Wait and see.
No, yeah, and I'm just so, what is it? I am so not intrigued, but I'm excited. I'm excited and I'm anxious to see how exactly would you be able to do that. I'm very interested in what your thought process is going to be when that moment comes up.
I mean, as long as the group stays out of 10 towns, one brothel, we shouldn't figure it out, right?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's call it there for the night, guys. For everyone still in chat, everyone hanging out, thank you very, very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please follow the links below. If you missed previous sessions, you can find them on YouTube. Go give us a subscribe there, like and comment on our videos there. This one, if you missed it, you can check out the VOD here on Twitch. It'll be up on YouTube likely tomorrow. If you want to join the Discord, you can join our Discord. Either type !Discord in chat or follow the link below. There's all sorts of talk there. You can talk with me. You can chat with the Bad Rolls Good Times people here. If you're an artist and want to kind of draw on maybe some scenario like really gotcha, we'd love to see some fan art of these characters in our Discord. And it's just an all around great community to chat with in that Discord. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks to you guys for playing. And next Monday we will see you then for episode 4. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you later.
Have a good week.
Have a
Merry
great night,
Christmas.
everybody.